Yeah. Deep-rooted conversations, real talk, real words, real us, slows. Soft rain, no middleman between the truth. I can see it in your eyes, you got it. Pain got your heart moving cautious. Different worlds but the same kind of scars here. Different roads but somehow we still crossed it. Mad cause the world never listened right. Mad cause your truth always turns.
Disclaimer: this broadcast is intended for commentary, discussion, and entertainment purposes only. All topics and statements are based on publicly available information, including news reports, social media content, and third-party sources, which may include allegations or unverified claims. The views expressed are opinions and should not be interpreted as confirmed facts. This content is not intended to harm, defame, misrepresent any individual, organization, or entity. Viewer discretion is advised.
What are we shooting for? Another shot fired. Another breaking news banner. Another mother getting a phone call that changes everything. Road rage, bus stops, arguments, egos. Seconds of anger creating lifetimes of pain. And while communities keep asking, what are we killing each other for? Another family finally steps forward to speak. The Wells family has a voice too. Red lights, blue lights, middle of the night. Two strangers get angry, now somebody lost their life. Young boys throwing futures over moments in the street. Another empty chair where somebody used to eat. Over disrespect, over pride, over somebody cutting lanes. One pull of a trigger and nothing stays the same. Kids at the bus stop, workers driving home. People leave that morning never knowing what's coming on. We scream about the shooter, then tomorrow we forget. Until another notification says another body's hit. Everybody got a weapon, everybody feeling tough. But when did walking off start meaning you ain't man enough? Tell me, what did we win? Tell me, what did we prove? A life is gone forever over something we could've moved through. What are we shooting for? What are we dying for? Another pointless argument. Another family crying more. What are we shooting for? Tell me what was worth that life. 5 seconds of anger can destroy 100 nights. Put the guns down, put the pride down. There's too much blood on the ground. If nobody remembers why it started, what are we shooting for now? Then there's another story. Everybody thinks they know. Nolan Wells became a headline everywhere you go. Opinions became verdicts before everything was known. Everybody picked a side from the comfort of their phone. Race into the conversation, politics into two common sections. Chose their feelings before we knew what was true. But now the Wells family finally gets to speak. Their memories, their questions, their pain and what they see. You don't have to pick a side just to listen when they talk. Truth shouldn't fear another voice entering the dark. Because justice ain't a hashtag. Truth ain't who screams loud. Evidence shouldn't change depending on who's controlling the crowd. Tonight, two conversations meet. One asks, why are people throwing their lives away over moments that never had to become deadly? The other asks, can we listen when the Wells family finally tells their side without deciding the conclusion before they finish speaking? Different stories, same consequence. Families hurting, communities divided, and people searching for answers after it's already too late. What are we shooting for? What are we fighting for? How many mothers scream. How many families gotta suffer before we change what this means?
Everybody wants answers. The Wells family is demanding answers about Nolan Wells, about what happened, what led to that night, and whether every question has truly been answered. And they have every right to ask. But tonight, I want us to widen the lens because while one family is demanding answers, other families are being forced to ask questions they never imagined they'd have to ask. In Warner Robins, gunfire. In Gaffney, a 17-year-old, another young life caught in violence. And on I-20, a teacher shot. Another family receiving the kind of phone call that changes everything. Different cities, different circumstances, different families, but the same devastating sound, gunshots. And that's what I don't want us to lose tonight. We can debate narratives. We can question timelines. We can demand evidence. We can argue about who said what, who know what, and who should be held accountable. But somewhere along the way, we have to ask a bigger question. How many families have to start demanding answers before we can start demanding change? Because every bullet doesn't come from a national headline. Every grieving mother doesn't get a press conference, and every family doesn't get cameras. But every life still matters. Tonight, we're talking about Nolan Wells, but we're also talking about a culture where too many families are being introduced to tragedy by the sound of gunfire. Different stories, same pain, and far too many unanswered questions.
Yeah. Deep-rooted conversations.
Um,
Real
so
talk. Real roots. Real us. Slows. Soft rain. No middleman between the truth. I can see it in your eyes, you got it. Pain got your heart moving cautious. Different worlds but the same kind of scars here. Different roads but somehow we still crossed it. Mad cause the world never listened right. Mad cause your truth always turned.
Nolan is and was an incredible, just incredible soul. He was the person who, no matter where you were in life, or what was going on, he was going to be your biggest cheerleader. And I can attest to that because after COVID, my sister was like, oh, you should do social media. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to do social media. I like to just watch others. And then Nolan was like, no, Mom, you should do it. I'll help you with the videos. I got you. And, just anytime I was like, oh, I just really don't want to do this anymore. Nolan was like, no, Mama, you hadn't posted today. And I'm like, I don't want to post. I'm tired. Yeah. But, that's the kind of person he was. He was God-fearing, God-loving. That boy had faith beyond measure. He was just a bright light. And he was our bright light. As far as that day goes, went to work and he was making salmon. So he was FaceTiming me as I'm trying to see patients kind of in between, of course, not answering the phone in the room. And he's like, hey, Mama, how does this look? Is this enough season? Like, what am I supposed to do with this? And I was like, okay. I was like, you don't have to do that. And he's like, no, I'm going to take care of it. I was like, okay, sure. And so he finishes cooking, get home. He's like, yeah, what you know about this? And he was, guys, when I tell you, he loved to joke. Like, he was just one of those people. He wanted everyone around him to smile, be happy, feel comfortable and accepted. And that is the kind of person God made him. Us as parents, we definitely had that influence, but Nolan was just naturally a peacemaker. Yeah. And so, yeah, after that, it was, ate, and then he got ready to go. He did his normal, hugged us up. I love you, Mom. I was like, be safe, knowing this was going to be his last weekend before going back to school because football was starting, the summer training was starting. And this was his second year at Southwest. And so we knew this was going to be a big year for him. Dad and him had been training and doing all these things and really just kind of sitting with him and letting him know, like, hey, we're going to the next stage in your life as well as, your football career. So the focus was there and he was ready.
So he leaves that day.
He leaves that day with, he drives his car and he told us kind of a general, like, hey, we're going to go to the island. Like, we knew that. staying at Jack's house. And Jax was a friend. I think we've met in passing before. And that's the thing, you know, I always say there's a difference in meeting someone, knowing of someone, and then knowing someone. Knowing implies that we've sat down, we've had discussions about your hopes, your dreams, you know, knowing you, okay, hey, he stayed the night at my house, which Wyatt, one of his friends, he had stayed at our house a couple of times. And then Jax, again, that was one I just maybe saw in passing a few times. There was only a handful of young men that we actually knew, like he grew up with. And when I say grew up, I'm saying from like first grade, they've known each other all through high school now that they're graduated. And that would be like Jalen and Javon, LeBaron. Those are kids that we knew. So it's been hard seeing all this kind of play out.
Yeah.
And, you know, these are people that he considered friends.
Yes. Dad, I want to ask you, because it was Warren Hudson, one of the people that he traveled with, who called to alert you all that Nolan was missing.
Yes.
So we know at 5:44, the boat returns, Nolan is not there. At 11 p.m., he calls to say Nolan is missing. I wonder if either of you, whoever wants to answer, what happened in those few hours that prompted Warren to be concerned?
I'm not quite sure what would prompt him to be concerned, but all I can say is what I did that day. So me and my sister, we made an order of pancit, which is a Filipino noodle dish for one of our friends. They were having a big family get together, and we really didn't have anything planned for the 4th. So me and my sister are, you know, cleaning up, and this is about 8. And she's like, hey, you know, Nolan hasn't texted us. Like, and that was the thing. Nolan was really big with communication with us, right? And so I call him, doesn't answer. I end the call, call back. And this is probably, I think, maybe around 8. Don't quote me on the times, guys. So then I call again later around 8, still no answer. And then I want to say I called one more time, and I think that was at like 10:48. So I'm in the kitchen, my phone rings now. This is probably like early 11 o'clock, somewhere around there. Phone rings when I make it back to the phone, and I'm like, whose number is this? Because, you know, we get weird phone calls sometimes. They didn't leave a message. Number pops back up. I pick up the phone because it says maybe Warren. And I'm like, Warren? So this is 11:07. That's per my cell phone records. So I answer the phone. He's like, hey, Miss Christine, have you seen or talked to Nolan? I said, no. Why? He should be with you guys. And he said, oh, no, well, you know, when we went to the island, there was a girl named Katie that he met, and he had decided to stay behind. I said, what? Because we know our child. And Nolan isn't one to be like, oh, well, I'm just going to throw caution to the wind, and I'm going to stay here with this girl that I just met. So I'm on the phone with him. Now I'm in a panic. I'm running to my room. Elmore was in bed watching a different movie. And I'm like frantic. He's like, what's going on? I'm like, Nolan is missing. I'm trying to pull up the GPS as I'm talking to him. And at some point he tells me that, I was like, well, you know, his phone says GPS Life 360, not Snapchat.
Right.
Life 360 says that he's on land. And he was like, well, no, I mean, you know, well, we have his phone. And I'm like, wait, what? And I'm like, okay. Because at that point, you're telling me, this is coming from Warren, don't worry about it. We're going to find him. It's going to be okay. Don't tell me not to worry. This is my child, my flesh and blood that I brought into this world. And you're telling me not to worry. Absolutely not. So then it was after the phone call ended, of course, asking him for information. What was he wearing? He was like, last seen, Northwest tip, black shorts, sunglasses. That's important. So I end up calling DMR, spoke with the DMR. She took all the
for our audience, DMR.
So DMR is because he went missing on the island. They are basically the marine people, right? They're the ones who's going to launch the boats to go into the water and all that. But before getting off the phone with Warren, he was like, hey, I know some people at Coast Guard. I said, okay. He's like, I'm gonna call Coast Guard, you call DMR. Get on the phone with DMR. I give the young lady the information. And she tells me, hey, you know, I got this. Let me call you back. And she was like, I'm not sure if this is going to be in our jurisdiction, essentially. So then she calls back and she tells me, okay, yeah, you know, we spoke with Coast Guard. And I'm like, okay, but they're like, this isn't our jurisdiction. You have to contact the city of Ocean Springs. I said, okay, hang up the phone, call in Ocean Springs Police Department. They say, hey, you have to physically come down and give a report. I said, okay. So on our way, because we don't live that far from the police station, on our way there, I was like, well, let me stop by the hospital, because there's a hospital that's maybe 5 minutes up the road from our house. Stop by there. I'm like, hey, have you guys seen this kid? Has he been brought in? The lady's like, no, ma'am. You know, we hadn't. I said, okay, thank you. Run out. We go to the police department. Get to the police station. And the officer basically says, again, this is out of our jurisdiction. And at that point, I'm like, my God, who am I supposed to talk to? Who is supposed to help me with this? So then he said, it's going to be, you would have to call DMR. I was like, we've already called DMR. DMR said it's not in their jurisdiction. So we end up, I think at some point I had called Jackson County Sheriff's Office. Yeah. So she calls back and she's like, hey, are you there? I said, yes, we're here. But he's telling us the same thing you guys told us, which is no, we can't take it. She gets on the phone with a police officer. Now this is Jackson County Sheriff's Department speaking with the Ocean Springs Police Department. Ocean Springs Police Department is saying, this is why we can't take this information. She says, okay. He gives me the phone back and she's like, okay, I'm just going to take it. I'm just going to take the information. And that was, we met an officer. It was after midnight. Right? Yeah, somewhere after midnight, met him in the McDonald's parking lot, gave him the information. He was just like, okay, thanks. That I was like, like, where is the urgency? Mm-hmm. And so as far as we know, there were no boats on the water that night. We actually, his high school football coach, Coach Bramlett, text Elmore that morning. He said, hey man, I got a boat. Because again, we don't have boats. Let me make that very clear. We do not have a boat. We're not boating people. We don't do water like that. Okay. So Coach Bramlett's like, hey, I got a boat. So we was like, great, let's go. We're on the water. We go out there. We walk the island. Cell phone works perfectly fine. I actually had almost an entire conversation with my grandmother who was in a panic as we're walking this island looking for anything.
I just want to pause there. The cell phone worked fine because in the reporting, there's been so much reporting that there's poor cell phone reception. And this is some of the disputes that we have about that night. Dad, feel free to jump in here because they're saying he met this young lady, Katie, and that he stayed back. According to the reporting, Katie is saying no. He said he was going to go with his friends. According to the reporting, the friends say, no, he left us his phone because there was no reception. Dad, have you found any consistencies? Have you spoken directly with any of his friends?
Well, the first inconsistency was you called me and tell me my son stayed on the island to talk to a girl. My son will never do that. That's not in his character. I didn't raise none of my kids to do that. The second thing is you say he doesn't have his phone. He doesn't leave his phone. I will wake up sometimes in the morning and Nolan will have his phone here right in my face. And I'm waking up cussing and fussing like, boy, you don't get the camera on my face. And he just laughing and giggling and stuff like that. So it's twice. To me, there's two lies you told me as a father. Like I said, we went on the island. And actually a classmate of mine called me that morning as we were going out to the island with Nolan's coach. He's like 40 miles away. He calls me, hey man, I got the boat. Me and my boys, we're gonna go out there and help you look. I didn't call him, he called me. And we're gonna start on this end. I said, well, we're probably gonna start on the other end. So me, my wife, Coach Bramlett, and a high school classmate of mine were the only ones. We were the first ones out there looking. Like I said, we docked the boat, got out the boat, walked on the island. She had a whole conversation with her grandmother on the island. Got back on the boat, went back around the island. I guess that would be the north side, facing the Gulf of Mexico. I get another phone call. So my phone worked fine. So this whole thing about not having phone service, I don't know. I don't know if it's the carrier or what, but ours worked fine. I think that was around maybe 8 o'clock.
Yeah, because he finished up around.
Who was it? Jackson County or
Jackson County Sheriff.
Finally showed up.
Yeah.
A couple of boats, they finally showed up. By that time, I was like, he's not out here. I was more focused that he was at someone's house.
That was
that's where my hopes and feelings were. So we left. The county stayed out there. My friend, he stayed out there because he called. He was like, well, we're gonna stay out here a little bit longer. I said, okay, I appreciate it. So we leave. Then I would say maybe a couple hours later, my friend calls me back. He said, well, we're gonna give it and go, but he said, look, I can gas the boat back up. And if you want to go back out there, we can go back out there. I said, I don't want to go back out to the island. I have a feeling that he's not there. And I don't want to go back to the island. So he said, he said, well, if you do, we can go right now. I said, don't worry about it. I appreciate you coming out there. But he said at that time that helicopters were out there, more Coast Guard, more people out there. So we get back on there. And as far as the keys, was that night? Or was it
that was that night.
That was the night to call. Okay, let me back up. As far as getting the car back, after we gave our report to Jackson County,
So I want to stop here first because I want to see your thoughts on this. Because is this your first time hearing this interview, Ray? You muted.
No, I've listened to it before.
Okay. So what is your thoughts so far? And welcome in, Miss Clene. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yeah, Clene. Hey, Clene. This is my first. Well, I don't know. Is this their first time recounting everything that they went through? They haven't said
I
this
want to
anywhere
say
else.
publicly, yeah, publicly.
Okay. And their timeline makes sense. And there's one thing that Christine did say, that as a mother, you don't tell me how to feel about my child missing. Don't tell me it's gonna be all right when I can't find my child. Don't do that. I know you're trying to reassure me, but if you're that assured, then where's my child? If you're his friend, then why did you leave him on an island? So until I lay my eyes on him, I can't be rest assured that we'll find him. So I understand her sentiments when she says that. I am, as Penny said earlier too, thankful that Mr. Wansley is speaking up now, and he's at the forefront a little bit more. I know that Christine, she tends to have her words, or can put together her words a little bit. But I'm not negating the fact that Mr. Wansley cannot speak well, but maybe she has her thoughts and her feelings together more, and being able to process it more better than him at the time, as well. So maybe he's had some time to really be able to process and put his thoughts together. But I'm thankful that he is starting to speak up. And actually, these accounts that they have been that they revealed to us now, where they did go back out to the island, where they were the only ones out there on the island searching for Nolan in the beginning, and then everybody else showed up. I mean, I know it takes time to get everything together and to get people out there, as far as like getting things in order, logistics, calling people in and everything. But to me, it didn't seem like it was of importance, of a missing teen. I still say that Mississippi was nonchalant and dragging their feet just a little bit when it became about the search of him, or trying to find him. So, yeah. But right now, I'm glad that they're telling their recount of everything that happened, their story, their version of it.
So since me and you've been covering these town halls,
Mm-hmm.
do you feel like you kind of pick a side versus bias? Because you sound like it sounds like you believe their recantment more than you believe others. I'm just asking. Like, is it like, you know what I mean? Because like at the end of the day, on the town halls, we do want to see it from both sides, right? We want to cover from both sides. So like, the young men were also on Officer Tatum's show,
Mm-hmm.
and their recantment of the story wasn't too far off from the father, who's going to talk about what happened that night.
Right.
So when you compare the two, it sounded like there was some similarities, and there probably could be some things that are different,
Mm-hmm.
but we're also taking the sides of each group's story.
Right. I'm still on the fence.
Okay.
I'm not until.
The only reason I asked that because like when you made the statement about when she was saying, "Oh, I'm a parent," we don't know if that was truly said.
Right.
You see what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
but I understand why it could be that way. Like I understand why people would have some bias though.
Right. Hey, plug. But no, I'm still on the fence. Until the truth comes out about, or until Mississippi medical examiner's report comes out, the actual cause of death. And until this rolls through the grand jury, I'm still on the fence.
Yeah,
I know
that's what
accidents.
they said. That she said it seemed like you're holding your opinions until the evidence comes out.
Yeah, it's. I want to believe wholeheartedly that it was an accidental drowning. I want to believe that, maybe that something did happen that, ended his life other than the drowning. But in my heart of hearts, I still believe that somebody knows something that just has not been said yet. That knows the actual that saw him either go into the water if it was a drowning, that saw him in a physical altercation if there was that saw him overly intoxicated. You're on a place where there is no shelter. The sun was beaming that day. If you're heavily intoxicated, dehydrated, is the chance anything can happen out there. I just honestly just want the truth. And that's what I've said since day one. But I still in my heart of hearts, I still believe that somebody knows his last moments, whoever it may be. And I just hope they have the courage and the conviction within themselves. I said this since our first town hall, to come forward and say something. And I think that until that happens, until we get the final medical examiner's report from both sides, because the independent was undetermined. Hopefully, the one from Mississippi with the other body structures that was missing have some more detail about it. That they can draw a real conclusion. And I don't think that the Wanslys are going to rest or stand fast until they know for sure exactly what happened. And will we ever know exactly what happened?
Yeah. After like consuming so much information, I still lean towards the female.
I think
just because I mean, even in their interview, they kept feeling like so. For those who watch my other platform, I did talk about like we make statements thinking that our children wouldn't do certain things, but children are children, right? Young men, young women, everybody has bad judgment moments. Everybody makes decisions where they might do something that as a parent you would say is out of your child's character, but that does happen. But I really feel that the female knows. And I think, and I really think that a lot of people think it's because she didn't lawyer up, because she made her statement and said she, I really feel that she knows the most. And I think we're not going to hear her true testimony or side until the grand jury actually starts. And I think she's going to probably say a lot, but I really feel like the female knows. I really do.
Yeah.
In my heart of hearts, I feel like the female knows something.
Because, too, the talk behind the scenes about, I don't know, I can't remember which one it is, so I'm not gonna say, but one of the guys, the white friends, was supposedly dating Katie.
Oh, you're talking about Bart.
Okay, was supposedly dating her, and then maybe it was some altercation between him and Bart over her. That's speculation. Allegedly, I don't know, y'all, so don't hold my word to it. But if that was the case, then something, it could have went too far. Allegedly. Can you say I've been saying that also? Yeah.
I really like just as I'm excuse me, y'all. Just as I'm consuming so much information about this case, I feel like we're overlooking her so easily.
Right.
Like everybody's just like passing her up, like it's just no way. And I understand it, right? Like even with the parents, they're saying like my son would never do that. But everybody who has a child, your child will do things that you don't expect them to do.
I was that child.
So,
Oh yeah.
and also, right, you know, excuse me.
Bless you.
And we also know too, there was substance at play, alcohol thing. So
Mhm.
your judgment is impaired. So you
Oh
you
yeah.
can do things that you normally wouldn't do. But I think Katie knows a lot. And
Yeah.
I hope she starts either saying something or, but I think she knows.
Yeah.
I really do. Clay says somebody knows how, but until it's revealed, we are all at their mercy of the authorities that have not been forthcoming, and the grand jury is not the savior. Yeah, the grand jury is not good, Clay. I've been said that as well. Like the grand jury is not something positive. With that, yeah.
Yeah.
Plug said Katie knows something. She's either paid or just waiting for trial.
Yeah.
I'm telling y'all. Penny said if he glued to the phone, chances are he was talking to a girl. So to say he wasn't brought up to holler at a woman is just lip service. That's very true, Penny. Uncle Plug said if he's the boy, and if he's the boys, they have no remorse, supposedly. Penny said, I think the parents didn't like Katie. Yeah, I think Katie, man, I think Katie's gonna play a major role in this. Clay said, you might be right, sir, but I still say that the grand jury is only as good as the information given by the prosecutor, and everything with this group is tainted so far. I definitely agree. I definitely agree. I definitely agree with that. And with it being Mississippi and with everything that, like, this case is so complex because a lot of things happen due to multiple reasons, right? Multiple things. I think once Sheriff Ledbetter talked too soon,
Oh yeah.
that shut down 90% of the communication after that. Like I think it was one of those things that, okay, I made a mistake. I'm not man enough to tell y'all I made a mistake and spoke too early. So now we're just gonna shut down. It's almost like they shut off. And then at that point, now it's everybody else playing investigator. And now we're just trying to wait on evidence to come out.
Yeah.
So Monica said they can't sleep, so they will talk out loud very soon. I agree. I think Katie knows a lot. I think she knows a lot. Penny said all her influence on her son, but think he's a D1 prospect. Come on that. Oh, he said on that catnip. That was fool. Plus said I wonder who is the prosecutor. Yeah. So I'm gonna play a little bit more because the father gave a great description of like what happened that night from his perspective. So we're gonna play that real quick.
The sheriff department that night, we were trying to figure out who to get a report to. We had a friend in the family that located his phone. We wasn't there to get the phone, but apparently there was some kind of friction with getting his phone.
Yeah,
We don't
and
know
it
what the friction
so
was.
the phone and the key were at the same location, which was Jack's house.
Okay.
And again, all of these kids share their locations on Snapchat. And so she was like, hey, I can go pick his phone up, not thinking that his car is there, you know, which she stopped everything she was doing. Her and the boys, they went out. Like, we were all out searching for him that night. And yeah, like Omar was saying, there was an issue, some type of friction. The cops ended up coming and they left. And so then kind of the same.
So that's a part that was initially brought up from Jax and Warren with Officer Tatum prior to this interview about the altercation, because there was a bunch of boys that actually came over to Jack's house asking them like, hey, where is Warren? Not Warren, where is Nolan? I'm sorry. They was asking them that. They was questioning them at the time at Jack's house. And then when the father got there, he's going to tell you what he said and why he chose to handle it the way he did.
Thing when we came to pick up the key, Elmore went up there asking for the key, didn't know where the key was, and all of a sudden we know where the key is.
But see, hold on. But see, this and this is another thing that bothered me too. When we got to the house, you know, it was some of his other friends were there, and they were, beating on the door like, "What Nolan there? What Nolan there?" Beating on the door trying to get in the house. So I walk up to the door and I'm calming them down because for one, okay, you're loud. Two, you're in these people's house. So if you take these people's house up, this could be a whole nother issue. I don't want y'all bothering that. And three, I need you guys to calm down. I need them to kind of trust me as being an adult so I can get something out of them. So I get them out the house, and then Jax finally comes down the stairs, I guess in the room. Harold messed up like he just woke up, whatever. I said, look, I'm Nolan's father. His car's outside. I need to get his car and all his personal effects that may be left over here. And he goes, oh man, Nolan was like my brother. I said, Nolan was like my brother. I said, well, if Nolan was like your brother, would you please go and get everything of his so I can get his car, I can go home. So he walks off. 2 or 3 minutes later, he come back. I don't see the keys. Okay. So I leave out the house, go back outside, stand by the car. During that time, one of the guys that was in the house, one of the other friends, he was on the phone with a girl who was.
And here go again. It's another girl who was on the phone that told them where his keys were. The father took it a different way, which that's in his prerogative. But also when Jax covered this on Officer Tatum's show, it was the same story. They gave the same exact story. I covered it already. They gave the exact same story. Jackson just said that, when he came from upstairs, he didn't know where the keys were. He gave the dad the phone, but he didn't know where the keys were. And then they end up getting a call from a young lady. Didn't give her name, but she told them where the keys were. I'm telling y'all, man, I don't know if it's Katie because there was no other name given, but the young ladies have more information than I think everyone has.
Apparently there with them earlier that day, and she was telling him that his keys was on top of the X.
So the young lady knew where the keys were located in Jack's house.
Box in his room. So he goes back up to the door by himself, and we're still out by the car. And lo and behold, here comes the keys. So now to me, you lied to me 3 times. I don't believe nothing that you tell me on out.
And this is Jax.
This is Jax.
And eventually he does give you the keys.
Yeah, eventually.
But there was friction getting the keys.
Yes. So from when you tell me my son is on the left side of the island with a girl.
So we got to, I know Rain's currently occupied, but I want to break down these first 3 things that the father starts to talk about. So the first thing he was frustrated about was that the boys told him first that his son chose to stay at the island with a girl. They feel that he wouldn't do that. So I think a lot of their own personal feelings is why the girls aren't really, or the girl isn't really being questioned. Like Katie would have to do some talking for me. Like Katie would have to do something for me. Like we need to go take some polygraph, lie detector. We need to go do something. Me and Katie I know she ain't lawyer up, but man.
Do you think that if they would not have said, hey, he will not do that, then she would be more forthcoming?
I don't know. I don't think no one's gonna be forthcoming now just because of the fear. It's just fear-based now.
Yeah.
With that being said, he's displaying like how he felt about the situation, which again is he can feel however he like about the situation. But again, I would tell people to really go look at both interviews because the stories do line up.
2, you have his phone. And 3, you don't give me the keys when I ask. I don't know.
And he couldn't give you the keys because he didn't know where they were.
Yeah.
And a girl called and told them where the keys were. I wonder who this girl is. Nobody's saying the girl's name on the phone. Who the girl, like,
oh, any father who would believe just if one of my friends did that, I'm gonna be cordial with you, but I'm gonna watch you. And I just
Ben, I want to ask you because I'm hearing these 2 parents who essentially
Plug, to answer your question, all these kids were at the house before they got on the boats that day. So everybody parked at Jack's house. So that's how everybody knows where things are located, the keys, because at the very beginning of this interview, the mother stated that she knew that he was staying the night at Jack's house. First thing she said on the interview. So she knew that. So with him staying there, that means he's going to leave his truck there, and there's no need to take your keys with you. So that's why they wouldn't know where they're present, because wherever they put them, this young lady knew. You see what I mean? Like, it makes sense when we take a step back and we don't think about it in an emotional setting, and you just take a step back. Like, I mean, it was over 20, 30 kids getting on that boat from the video they showed. It sounded like Jack's got a huge house.
Yeah, the house that where Tatum went to, they had a pool on the back side, the dock and all that.
So,
that house looks, I mean, pretty significant.
yeah,
I'll say that much.
He said,
and they had cameras, so.
He said, so why would they be discussing his belongings? I'm not sure what that means. Penny said, where his stuff is tracks where he was. Yeah.
It's supposed to, yeah.
Clay said they're afraid of getting locked up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Penny said, so obviously the girl was with him if she got the keys. Yeah, she knew where they were. But nobody's talking about the girl. Plug said, was this the same girl? That's nobody said the name, Plug. That's what I'm saying. Like, nobody said the name of the girl who called. They didn't give a name of it. Penny said, so Pop's quiet because mom has custody time when it went down. Oh, got it. Okay, I'm tracking Plug and Penny now. Boy, y'all was speaking in code for a second. So they're not
like me.
So from what it sounds like from Plug and Penny, they're not together.
Who?
These two right here on the stage.
He says my wife.
Yeah, but it said that Penny said it seems like mom had custody at that time, like had the kid that weekend.
But why would she have the kid that weekend whenever he was gone off to college? He was supposed to start college Monday. I thought he was going to college. He wasn't. No, they were living in the same house. No.
Yeah.
They're not separated. That's stepdad. Yeah, that's stepdad. She does. He doesn't. I'm confused.
Don't get confused. It makes a lot of sense. Like I see what y'all saying. Y'all know Ray be it's a little late for Ray. Yeah, but like no, they're saying that they're not together. The mom has a ring on, the stepdad doesn't. And they're pretty much saying that like the mom is recanting more of the information because the dad didn't have them. He was with his mom that weekend.
Okay.
And if they right, that's not something they haven't released that. They haven't told the public because they don't. It'll look bad. The optics would look bad.
Okay.
Clay said all the white kids and their parents and the law enforcement, the coroner exceptionally knows what happened. We and the parents just don't know. Clay, I think you was. I don't think you were with us on the last town hall we did, Clay. We did a bonus episode. The lawyers already said what the results are going to be.
Yeah, they said that.
They already said what the results are going to be. I think people are just overlooking the interviews. But me and Rain covered it on the last town hall. I think it was Wednesday night. Yeah, Wednesday night. If y'all get a chance to go back and watch town hall number 4, we played the video, and the attorneys they're pretty confident in what the outcome is going to be. So
yeah,
if that lets y'all know, like we literally paused it, we played it back like 5 times. Like they're very positive about what's going to be going on with this case. They were welcome in, courts. Welcome in. He said that maybe they're married, but could be separated. Okay.
Mhm.
So we won't know that part. All right.
Yeah.
We're gonna play a little bit more so y'all can hear the father, and then we're gonna move on to the second topic if y'all don't have anything. Again, the link is in the chat. If anybody wants to come up, speak for 2 minutes, you can give your take. Again, myself and Rain are not here to combat what you're saying. We just want to hear everybody's thoughts and opinions on this. Thank you, whoever
Girl,
Dad cooking delicious. He said hit that like button if you haven't yet. Appreciate you, brother.
you got some
Appreciate
cooking
you.
stuff on your channel.
Appreciate you. Powerful Black Mother said, good to see Black males and non-Black women working together on this. Fake unity BS. Okay. Well, I don't know if that was a subliminal, but we love you. Clane said, I saw a little of it. They were putting out their story that they made up for the case that's not necessarily true. But Clane, they'll make their truth the truth now. Court said it's a shame if the truth really is that nothing shady or criminal happened. All the people that were insisting something bad happened aren't going to accept that. That's definitely I think me and Rain said that. Yeah, I don't think people. He said, yeah, in all love. Yeah, appreciate you. All love here, man.
Let me go over and subscribe. I need some recipes.
She said, exactly. Yeah. He said, y'all seem genuine and it's greatly appreciated. Yeah. We just want to get the news out. We just want to get the news, and everybody has their side. I think we can see the writing on the wall too. That's why we did our last show about what does justice look like what will be suffice, because I think we're kind of moving to a direction where this could be going on for some more months or even years. So
had to become search and rescue or law enforcement, looking for their own child with such a lack of urgency on behalf of law enforcement. Obviously, we're talking to Black journalists. We can't ignore the ugly racial history of Mississippi. I looked into the demographics of the Jackson County Sheriff Department. It's quite asymmetrical, but also just the general attitude and the lack of value when it comes to Black life. Does this sound like a normal process for when an 18-year-old goes missing to you? What holes have you seen in your looking into this case?
Tiffany, that was the question that Christine and Elmore had when they first called us. They wanted the truth of what happened to their 18-year-old son, Nolan Wells. And they had concerns whether they were going to get a fair and impartial investigation. And from that day to this one, it has been the same objective: to have truth, transparency, and find out what happened to Nolan. They said, we want a thorough investigation, because when they found Nolan, they expressed to me that the sheriff had already said no foul play. And they was like, no, my son, he knows how to swim. Our son is a college athlete. Our son is in great shape. We don't believe that he just drowned and nobody knows nothing. Nobody saw nothing. I mean, there are about 300, 400 people on the island. And so that's what they were saying. We want to know what happened. We want truth. We want transparency. We don't want his death to be swept under the rug.
Well, just so to make sure the audience and the people watching at home know, so they did declare very quickly, as you're noting, that he drowned when his body was recovered on July 6th. Mom and Dad and you all know that he is a student athlete, able to swim. On July 4th on Horn Island, it was very crowded. Certainly the suggestion is someone would have seen a child in distress. There is going to be the convening of a grand jury. Now, the DA of this area, Angel Myers McElrath, is a very out loud, proud Republican. If there is a U.S. attorney appointed to this case, it will likely be a Trump appointee. I'm just curious, Ben, from you and Rev, I think we have to be very candid here. What concerns do you have about the racial animus that we are seeing so much of play in this case?
Well,
you or Rev, whoever.
All I'll say, and then defer to Rev, you want to believe that this is a child, that everybody's going to do their level best to find out what happened, so these brokenhearted parents will know what happened to their child. In time, we've seen Christine and the family be attacked just for asking questions. What happened to my child? Trying to say, no, we want to question this part of the investigation, that part of the investigation, because day one you said no foul play, but tell me now, what are you doing to be able to get us to the truth? And that is, it causes them sleepless nights. We talk at night. And so trust but verify. We are trying to cooperate everything we can do to say, hey, we want to help, but we want you to give them a thorough investigation. We want you to do for him what you would do for your child.
Rev, I'm going to come to you in a sec, but you brought up something, Ben, about attacks. And certainly as journalists, we have a keen eye, and I have noticed that the narrative around this story has shifted to the threats that are going to the young men who was with Nolan. They've hired attorneys who previously...
So I'm going to stop it there because I don't know if y'all noticed how they shifted away from the story. They didn't even let the parents complete the night. They shifted away from the story and kind of went more into like the politics of everything. It was the same thing that Al Sharpton went into at the post conference of this interview as well. But again, at first I didn't understand the first part, like when it first started, but I do see where they are really stuck on, and it was just that initial announcement. That initial announcement caused a lot of people to be like, oh, shoot, okay, they're not even taking this serious. They just feel like it's a drowning. And that's where a lot of the separation started. And that's why I said that if Ledbetter knew he was wrong, he should have came out and apologized for that.
Yeah.
Like I think an apology would have let people feel a certain, they probably still would have been pissed off, but they would at least been able to understand, like, you manned up to your mistake, and now we're gonna move forward with the rest of the investigation. But at that point, hearing Ledbetter say that, and it was incorrect and too early, it created a narrative that looks true, regardless if it's not. So
yeah, I get it. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
So yeah.
Court said, I think 3 or so people drown at the island every year. I think people underestimate the undertow and riptide mixed with dehydration, very hot day, and alcohol.
Yeah. And of course, you could be right, but again, I think it's just that initial that initial statement provided so much off-put that now people were like, okay, they're not even going to take this serious. They're just going to say this young man drowned. Nobody's going to look into the facts. And I think that's the problem. I think what you're saying could be true if the information would have came out correctly from the get-go. So
Penny said, but they got to get the script together because the counterpoints got theirs.
Oh yeah, they united over there.
He said, I still can't get over the speed of this case versus Carmelo. Got to do better, said Crump and Al cannot do it by themselves, nor in Mississippi.
We agree. We agree with that.
Penny said they can't let the parents finish the night because this becomes a prosecutor's dream during the case because it's on tape.
That's big facts.
Ooh.
Because Lil Penny, even I was able to sit there and like compare it to the other, like, so I definitely see it. I'm sure I'm not even as good as a prosecutor. So I see what you're saying. Welcome in, your divine. We appreciate your opinion. Just lead with respect, please.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. Go ahead.
Court said, yeah, they handled it wrong for sure, which caused doubt in the public eye.
Yeah, that was the first thing. Like it took me a while to wrap around it because like I didn't have any emotions involved, so I was like looking at the facts. But then when you take a step back and be like, it's almost like they lied to you in your face, and now you're trying to believe everything else. So
yeah. Got to do better said they really didn't expect this to go and blow up the way it did either.
That is true.
They didn't expect that.
They weren't expecting it to go at all.
Gonna say crump or slipping.
Clump PR, yeah.
Oh, crump PR slipping, my bad. Richard Napoleon, welcome in. The more these interviews, the more they get deeper in the hole.
I feel you on that. Welcome in too, Richard. We appreciate you stopping in, brother. We appreciate you. If anybody wants to come up before we get off this first segment, if anybody wants to come up, we do have the link in the chat. You can come up for 2 minutes. You can speak your opinions and thoughts on it. And again, we're not going to push back. The only thing we ask is that you be respectful. We're here to listen to you and let you share your thoughts, because everybody has a right to their opinion. Just be respectful with it. That's all we ask. He said, peace and blessings. Thank you, boss man. Thank you, boss man. Plug said, good night, fam. Have a good one, boss. Court said, exactly. Don't trust your lying eyes, everyone, regardless of what you see in this case. Definitely. You got anything else on that one, ma'am?
Just make sure y'all are hitting that like button for us to keep us in the algorithm, and hit that subscribe button if this is your first time here, whether you're on Souls of Thought page or the Raw Society Network. We bring y'all some amazing shows all week long, actually. Check out the schedule and everything. Look at the post over on the Raw Society Network so you know the shows that we have over there. We have other shows other than this one. And make sure you, if you're catching it on the rewatch too, make sure you leave your thoughts down in the comment section.
And I do want to give a plug. Myself and Rain will be covering a real story. We will be having an interview this coming week. Her name is Sophie Lancaster. Her son, Malachi Lancaster, was allegedly murdered in Florida. So we're going to actually have her come up and talk about her story. She's going to, you can follow her on Facebook as well if you want to support her stories. I mean, it's even, I don't want to use the word crazy, but it's so much out there on that story as well. And they've been fighting it for years, but we're going to actually have her come up. She's going to tell her story, and we just want to be able to keep Malachi's name out there for those who really want to support the causes of what's going on. So again, shout out to Miss Lancaster. We will have her up here this week. Hopefully by Thursday, we'll be doing an interview. But once we get the date and time locked down for Thursday, we'll start sending out little reminders for you guys on YouTube and Facebook and other platforms as well. But shout out to Miss Lancaster's first name. So is it Sophia or Sophie? Sophie. So yeah. Course said, good night, everyone. I subbed and would definitely tune in from now on. Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you. Catch the rewatch too. Penny says, since it's holes in everyone's story now, it's hard to team one or the other objectively. That is very true.
It is, yeah.
That is very, very true, man. So we're going to move on to Town Hall 1 Alpha. We got to bring, our girl up here, man, who seems to get everybody riled up. Old Miss Nancy Gray. We're gonna get her up here. She did talk to the boys' lawyer, and I call them the boys, the white boys, because that's literally what they call them.
But everybody been calling them.
Even the attorneys say these are boys.
My boys.
So we're gonna see what she had to say talking to these attorneys. I would tell you guys to really listen. I don't know if they're gonna say the same thing on here, but here we go.
Into the Nolan Wells death bombshell. Joining us tonight, Nolan's friends' lawyers fight back. Who's telling the truth? They think they know, but do they? I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us. There's a big honking mark, subcutaneous, deep reddening tissue on his occipital. If I hit somebody in the back of the head, it'd be right there.
There was no indication that there was any kind of contusions on the hand, the arm, no kind of defensive event.
Back to Officer Tatum, star of The Officer Tatum on YouTube. Have the friends taken polygraphs?
Well, from my understanding, all but I believe one took a polygraph. And from what was told to me, that they all passed. And all of the ones that took a polygraph took one without a lawyer. And they cooperated with law enforcement. So from my understanding, everybody took a polygraph test. Why do you say that's from what you understand?
Did they tell you they took a poly and passed?
Yes, ma'am. They told me that they did it. I wasn't there. So that's what I'm saying from my understanding. They told me that all the boys except one, which is Warren, I believe, took a polygraph test. All of them did not have lawyers and did it and cooperated with police. Warren also cooperated with police. I just believe he didn't take a lot to take the test, but Warren is the young man that I interviewed. So according to what they told me, they all took a lot of tech tests and passed. And it's an equivalent of a lot of tech tests. It's not a traditional lot of tech test, but it's the same theology of
What did they
trying to
take?
get to if a person is lying. I don't know the name of it. It's an equivalent of a lot of
So
technical
not
tests.
a
It's a different methodology. Yeah, I don't believe it was a polygraph test. I believe they took other stressors in order to analyze if
So
the
then
people were
the
telling the
answer
truth or
to
not.
did they take a polygraph would be no. That is Officer Tatum from the Officer Tatum on YouTube. Joining us tonight are two very special guests. They are convinced of the friends, and when I say quoties, I don't mean they are or they're not friends, because I don't know. The young men on the Triton boat that took Nolan Wells to Horn Island. Many argue he was on the boat on the return when foul play occurred. Many argue he was not. In fact, the timeline has blown up because there are reports that Nolan Wells was seen on the island after the friend's boat left, which would exonerate them. Is that true? I don't know, and I'm trying to find out. For me, nobody's guilty and everybody's a suspect because we don't know the truth yet, but we will. Joining us tonight, Tyler Cox, the lawyer for several of the young men with the law firm Taylor and Cox, him being the Cox. Also with us, another veteran trial lawyer, Edward Pulsick, attorney for the boys as well. Actually, they're not boys. They're adults in the eyes of the law due to their age. Gentlemen, thank you for being with us tonight. My first question to clear up this matter, have your clients taken polygraphs? First to you, Tyler Cox.
Nancy, my clients have not taken a polygraph test. And I can tell you why. Because any lawyer worth their salt is going to tell their clients not to take a polygraph test under any circumstances. Two of my clients went in and made statements with me. We're not going to I'm not going to do a polygraph test because, one, as you know, they're not admissible in court. And so it wasn't going to be admissible anyway. You should never, ever, if you're a lawyer, allow your clients to take a polygraph test. Now, we allowed investigators from the jump to have access to their phones, their Life 360, everything. We have cooperated implicitly every step of the way. But no, they didn't take polygraph tests. But what I'll tell you is one of the other boys, who I won't mention their name, but I'm sure that you've heard, took one. The girl that Nolan was with took a stress analysis voice test, and so did the other boy. So that's the test they took. Both of them passed. And so, again, no lawyer worth the salt is going to tell his clients to take a polygraph test or anything like that.
I would like to corroborate part of what Tyler Cox just said. Any defense attorney, whether they're convinced, truly convinced their client is innocent or guilty, they're not going to allow a poly. I've never seen that. I've had a couple of lawyers, maybe three, in all the years I practiced, all the people I put behind bars, consent before trial to a poly. 3. And they were all criminal cases that carried severe penalties. So what he's saying is true. Even if you think your client is innocent, very rarely will you see a defense lawyer say, sure, take a poly. However, I disagree with you regarding their admittance into court. Polygraphs are allowed in civil trials. O.J. Simpson, he flunked horribly. And if both sides stipulate to the polygraph's admittance before the polygraph is taken, it can come into a criminal trial. The reality is that never happens. That never happens.
Right. At the time that we first cooperated with police, the first very week, the days after, just 1 to 2 days after the disappearance of Nolan Wells, we're not thinking about a civil suit. We're not thinking about that. We're thinking about how can we provide as much information to authorities so that they can find Nolan Wells. And it was not until after we...
Go ahead.
So these are defense attorneys, right? They're being introduced as defense attorneys, right?
Yeah, like the one with the hat on is a defamation attorney.
Okay. So the other attorney, Cox, he's saying we. 2 days after this, we. Can you rewind it back just a little bit?
If both sides stipulate to the polygraph's admittance before the polygraph is taken, it can come into a criminal trial. The reality is that never happens. That never happens.
Right. At the time that we first cooperated with police, the first very week, the days after, just 1 to 2 days after the disappearance of Nolan Wells, We're not thinking about a civil suit. We're not thinking about that.
So
We're
they
thinking
needed-
about how
they
can we
knew they
provide as
needed
much
lawyers.
information.
They knew they needed lawyers 2 days after the disappearance. They knew they needed lawyers then. Was it 2 days? Why?
Yeah.
They knew they needed lawyers that quickly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like what makes you think not? Because they were already being accused. You got to think about it. The night of the incident, the dad told you that people were already coming to their house. They were already being accused before we knew what was going on, before we knew what story existed. They were already being accused. Who wouldn't lawyer up? You see what I mean?
Yeah. I'll just be catching different things here and there.
I know it, like, trust me,
I might
like,
catch stuff late, but
see, Ann said facts. Like, think about it though. Like, and this is something again, you know, here on the town hall. I always try to get us to also see the lessons in these messes. We have to start taking on some of these characteristics of understanding how to get the system as well. Like, because they already knew. They knew the playbook.
because they had backup.
Yeah, they flipped the
They
page.
had somebody in their back pocket. They had the playbook in their back pocket.
They flipped the page 48. If a white person is with a black person and something happened, lawyer up. All right. That's why every black person need to be like a Fauci. Fifth Amendment. Plead the fifth. Don't say nothing. Don't ever speak. Get you an attorney, lawyer up. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. I'm telling you.
To authorities so that they can find Nolan Wells. And it was not until after we spoke to officers and investigators that Nolan, unfortunately, his body was found on Horn Island, washed up. And it's unfortunate. And I hate that for Nolan because by all accounts, he was an incredible person. He was just truly remarkable in almost every sense of the word. But I mean, we're not thinking about a civil suit at that point in time. We're trying to help authorities find our friend who we can't find either.
Edward Polsick joining us in addition to Tyler Cox, both of them veteran trial lawyers. He is with Taylor Dykema. Edward, how did you get involved in this case?
Well, I'd rather not talk about that. I can just tell you this. I can tell you that it was through a friend of a friend.
You're kidding, right? You're kidding me. Because when you tell me I'd rather not answer,
well, I want to
that's
protect
just
the names. I
igniting me to find out how you got involved in the case.
Well, hold on. I can tell you a little bit more. I can tell you this. I can tell you a close friend who knows the Ocean Springs, Mississippi community very, very well, is from the area, connected me to a friend of his. And then I found myself speaking to Tyler here. And Tyler and I instantly became very close friends.
Safe, too tight.
We both have blue pickup trucks. So now we're the Blues Brothers. We just became very close. We hit it off. Then I had the opportunity to speak to Warren, speak to Morgan, speak to Jax, and we hit it off.
Do y'all hear them? He talking like they homeboys.
Yeah.
Oh, we hit it off. We went to the country club. We hit it off.
Why does he keep looking away?
A perfect match because he's reading.
Also, and I immediately realized these are incredibly fine young men. I realized right away I wanted to help them out.
Ed, to you and Tyler, I'm not saying they have lied, and I'm not saying they haven't lied. I don't know. I have no reason to disbelieve your clients or to believe them. But you do know that people can look you right in the face and lie through your teeth, and you believe them. I've done it. I've had witnesses that I found out were lying to me, and it was a huge blow. I've had police officers. I worked a child trafficking case. My first child trafficking case. Worked it. I finally found the little girl. I went into a room full of sex workers. They went, she's in there. I'm like, there's no child in there. They went, she's the one in the white boots. She looked like she was 38 years old. She's 14. That said, we won the case. But fast forward about 10 months later, I was walking through the grand jury room And I saw these horrible federal court sketches. I'm like, oh my stars. Is that who I think it is? It was my vice cops. They had been stealing from dopers and they got indicted by the feds. And I had been out on the street with them every day for months trying to prove a child trafficking case. So just because somebody tells you the sky is blue does not mean the sky is blue. You do know that, right?
Well, I can tell you this: they were off Horn Island at 4:30 p.m. on July 4th, and Nolan Wells was seen alive.
Now we're getting somewhere. How can you prove that to me other than them telling you? I assume you've got GPS tracking and the call to CTO.
We have witnesses among other things, but I can also tell you this: they were off the island at 4:30 p.m. and Nolan Wells was seen alive by multiple people at 6 p.m. still on the island. And I'm sure Tyler would be happy to elaborate on that.
I'm telling you, Rain, somebody need to go talk to these girls, man.
Yeah, that's
For
what
real.
that's the missing piece that's not in the public.
Yeah, for real.
Girls.
I'm gonna move it back so y'all can, if y'all want to take a still shot of that time stream, because
does not mean the sky is blue. You do know that, right?
Well, I can tell you this: they were off Horn Island at 4:30 p.m. on July 4th, and Nolan Wells was seen alive.
Now we're getting somewhere. How can you prove that to me other than them telling you? I assume you've got GPS tracking and the call to CTO.
We have witnesses among other things, but I can also tell you this: they were off the island at 4:30 p.m. and Nolan Wells was seen alive by multiple people.
And y'all listen to them, man. They talk a lot.
There it is, Penny, the GPS boat data right there.
Yeah. Hey, they talk a lot. I'm telling you, me and Rain, we've been covering a lot. These good old boys, they talk a lot.
Yeah.
They talk a lot. Like the cockiness, they talk a lot. Like, just listen to them. We got witnesses. We got that's why that grand jury is not going to be on the side of the Wells family. They're going to have more people who now all of a sudden can tell you where he was, when they last seen him. They're going to be able to tell you what milkshake he drunk. Like, I'm telling y'all.
The flavor of the beer and
everything. The flavor, yeah, like everything.
Or the type of beer and everything, yeah.
If y'all want to take a screenshot of that timestamps right there. 4:31 departed from Horn Island. The boat GPS traveled into Fort Bayou at 5:52. Returned to original departure dock at 6:06 and arrived at the Fort Bayou boat launch to be pulled out of the water at 7:19. They're creating their narrative right in front of us. Oh yeah, they gonna lie.
Oh yeah.
That's why they waiting on that grand jury. Shout out to Miss Little Lady. She said, hey, just about to go to bed. Guess I found you. Oh, appreciate you. Hey, that doom strolling to get you. We appreciate you that you stopped in.
Stay until them eyes closed.
Yeah, stay until you fall asleep with the phone in your hand, your thumb burning. Little Lady said, they say when you talk with the side eyes, they lie. Yeah. He is looking over at that screen a bunch of times. Yeah. We appreciate all y'all tonight, man. Make sure y'all do the free stuff, man. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. It'll be greatly appreciated. And go over the conversation with Soft Rain and follow her as well. She put it back in there for me. Little Penny said, girls, drugs, and alcohol, no phones, and hormones.
And hot sun.
Yeah. Penny said, but that's not the only boat though. Yeah, it's not.
Right.
He said they talking because they talk the more the pee in the pool. Yeah. Welcome in, Mr. Ink. He said there's some chatter about a new video proving that it was a fish holding cell on the boat is where they put Nolan. So that's the boat about the surface.
So that's about the surface. So you saying that?
I'll let you try to interpret that.
There's some chatter about a new video proving that it was a fish holding cell on the boat is where they put Nolan at. So that's about to surface.
Oh, so you're saying they put him where that you will hold your fish. Okay. Well, we'll definitely give you your credit when that comes out, Mr. Ink. We'll definitely give you that. She said, yes, sir. And said, I don't know how Nolan and his family even live there. These people even seem like fake friends. Yeah, I'm gonna show you guys something. I'm gonna read you guys something in just a second when we get done with this segment right here. He said, hey, Granny. Mr. Ink has side eye. Y'all stupid. But we're gonna play a little bit more of this, and then I'm gonna
At 6 p.m., still on the island. And I'm sure Tyler would be happy to elaborate on that. But this is a no doubt,
Good.
100%.
Please tell me, Tyler.
Yes.
Because I
Yes.
don't believe any of these people, and I don't disbelieve any of these people. I want to hear about witnesses that spotted him alive after 4:30, because I believe I can confirm the boat left around 4:30. And I'm referring to the Triton. That's the boat they were on.
So,
There are a lot of boats. Let's see the video of all the boats out there. So when I say Triton, I'm talking about the boat Nolan was on the way to the island. There's a lot of boats out there and a lot of witnesses too. This is from the Officer Tatum. Okay. There are witnesses placing him there at 6. And I want to be very clear, gentlemen, that I'm not convinced he drowned just because somebody said so. Even if he did drown, that does not mean that there wasn't foul play. Why is that mark on the back of his head? Was he hit on the head and fell in the water? Was he held under the water? Was it an accident? I don't know. But I am very interested in witnesses that place him alive at 6 p.m. Please tell me, Tyler Cox.
So Nancy, look, we have had multiple witnesses reach out to us, 2 confirmed witnesses that saw Nolan Wells on the island around 6 p.m. on July 4th, well after the Triton, as you said, left around 4:30. And so those witnesses have went to investigators, they've talked to the police, and they've done what they're supposed to do. We've cooperated 100%. So has
Where did they
those
see him,
witnesses.
Tyler Cox? Where did the witnesses see them? Do they know him well enough to make a positive ID? Hey, speaking of a positive ID, control room, please pull up a photo that we showed a couple of days ago. There are 2 or 3 women, white females, walking along the beach, as I recall, each clad in a bikini. There is one, I believe, a white male and one black male walking with them. That can you zoom in a little bit? That's not really helping me that much. For instance, did your witnesses know Nolan? Can they identify him? Because I'm looking right at this and I cannot identify if the male behind the female on the white, the female wearing a white hat, I can't tell if that's Nolan or not. It's a very blurry photo. I can't make it out. So do your witnesses know him? I mean, let me see my guess, please. Mr. Polczyk, Mr. Cox, I know the 2 of you. I don't see both of them. There they are. The 2 of you have tried a lot of cases, as have I. To get in or attack an eyewitness, and it's in the code, the official code of Mississippi annotated. There are prescribed methods under which you cross-examine an eyewitness. For instance, does the witness know the target? Was the lighting sufficient? How far away was the witness? What were the conditions of the eyewitness identification? Was the eyewitness inebriated or high or otherwise incapacitated? How far away were they? Do they wear glasses? It goes on and on and on. It's laid out in the code. Tell me about these witnesses. How do they know it was Nolan? Hey, control room, show me that picture of Nolan on the boat. He's bent over. All I can see are his legs and his behind. The only reason I think that's Nolan is because it matches his swimsuit. Did they see that? How can they identify Nolan? First to you, Tyler.
Well, I'm not sure if the witnesses saw that picture that you just put on screen, but I can confirm to you that these witnesses know Nolan. They've known him for a long time. They were able to make a positive ID. And they told that to investigators. They told them that from the very start.
Had they been drinking?
That I do not know.
How are they sure it was 6 o'clock? Look, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm asking the questions I would ask in court. How do they know it was 6 o'clock? Did they go, oh, there's Nolan Wells at 6 p.m.?
Well, I'm pretty sure, Nancy, they were aware of the time. I'm not sure if they were drinking or not, but they're the ones that came forward to police and investigators, and that's their story to tell. What I'm telling you is they made a positive ID on Nolan Wells around 6 o'clock, and they told that to investigators, all while our clients were off the island around 4:30. So we have positive identification on Nolan on the island an hour and a half after our clients left. So as you know, from your experience as a prosecutor, they can't do 2 things at once. They can't be on the island at 6 o'clock and be on the boat going off the island at 4:30. So that's where we are. Our clients have nothing to do with the death of Nolan Wells. We don't know how he died. We want to know. Please tell us. Somebody. We want to know just as much as anyone else. Our clients loved Nolan Wells. They were brothers to Nolan Wells. I've still yet to hear one bad thing about Nolan Wells. He was a good Ocean Springs kid. Just as Chuck Bordy says all the time in the courtroom, these are good Ocean Springs people. So Nolan was a good Ocean Springs person too. They love Nolan. We want to know. Will someone
Okay, just
please
stop right there,
tell us?
Tyler. Tyler, I got 1
Mhm.
hour and nobody's running for miscongeniality. Let's just let it be noted, judicial notice. They were all good. Everybody's good. Okay. Tyler,
Yes.
the witnesses that came forward, here's something that would tend to corroborate them is if multiple witnesses said the same thing. Witnesses separated in time and space, witnesses that are not all friends, witnesses that are not good friends with your clients, that may have a reason to be fuzzy all the time. I'm not saying they are or that they're not. Here's my question to you. Are these witnesses friends of your clients?
I don't think they're friends, and they're not even the same age.
Okay. Next question. How many witnesses place him there on the island at 6-ish?
At least 2 that I know.
2. Do the witnesses know each other?
Yes.
Were they together that day?
Yes.
Have they had a chance to discuss their recollections with each other before they came to police?
Well, I'm sure they did. Nancy, look, they did what they were supposed to do, and they spoke to police officers. And you know as well as I do that if investigators or a DA's office had any sort of probable cause to make an arrest in a case like this, they would. They would have.
Or they may be gathering evidence to make sure they've got all the evidence that there is. I mean, I would wait until I had all the evidence, including a completed autopsy. You know what? I'm going to jump ahead. But regarding the body, regarding Nolan's body, we've heard all sorts of inflammatory things. But the one thing that, well, many things are very interesting and probative. For instance, why was Nolan's neck of so much interest to the original medical examiner that it was removed? His foot wasn't removed. His toe wasn't removed. His ear wasn't removed. Why his neck? The lungs and the neck were removed, which obviously Edward Pulsick touches on COD, cause of death. I understand why the medical examiner took his lungs. He had to run tests on them to determine, did he drown? Of course, all 3 of us know you can drown and there still be foul play. Somebody whacked you on the head. If somebody held you underwater, it could be any number of things, or it could be an innocent drowning. But why the throat? What was curious about the throat, Ed? Were there marks on the throat? Was there a ligature mark? Was there manual strangulation? Was there a compression? Were there bruises? Were there scratches? I don't know. Was a hyoid missing? I could go on, but I won't. Do either of you know what was of interest to the medical examiner in the removal of Nolan's throat?
I'll tell you this. Listen, we're not coroners. We're not medical examiners. We want to know what happened to him just as much as everyone else. Quite frankly, more. Because Nolan was their best friend. Warren, Morgan, Jax, Nolan was their best friend. We want to know what happened. We haven't examined Nolan's body. We're not scientists.
I just thought maybe you had been somehow told why they took his throat. Okay, that's a note. We don't know why they took his throat.
Yeah, we don't want to speculate.
Let me start with an open-ended question to you, gentlemen. I started with, why haven't they taken polygraph? I want to hear what your clients are saying happened that day, because my interest is piqued because you stated a young lady, and I assume this is Katie, the mysterious Katie, who turns out not to be that mysterious.
I keep telling y'all, it's that girl, man. It's that girl, bro.
Nancy be asking the right questions too, don't she?
No, and Nancy be double talking. We already caught her too.
Well, yeah, she be double talking.
Nah, Nancy know what she's doing. She does know all the right questions, and they know not to try to play her because she has all the details. With that being said, I'm telling you, man, this girl knows something, man. This girl knows something. I'm telling y'all.
She gotta be. And I think the reason why she probably can't afford a lawyer. She probably can't afford a lawyer.
Oh,
she probably can't.
Rain, stop.
Huh?
Stop. She probably can't afford a lawyer. Y'all get lawyers for free.
I'm just saying, she might not.
She can afford a lawyer.
She might not have anybody in her back pocket the way the boys.
They've been able. No, for those who haven't watched Me and Rain on Wednesday, I told y'all this. If I was a betting man, they keep putting everybody who has nothing to do with the case in front of us.
Oh, yeah.
Warren, Jax, Morgan came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
They putting everybody in front of us on TV who has nothing to do with this case.
And we're tracing them in.
Yeah. It's probably Bart and Katie. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Just in case Carl Cox is watching. Allegedly. You know what I mean? I'm telling y'all, the best place to hide is in plain sight. Usually the fool is looking you right in your face.
Oh.
Telling y'all, man. And think about this, y'all. Think about how powerful this is. We just played the parents' interview, right? The parents said they know their son would never stay back with a woman. They're already mentally convinced that that couldn't even be far from the truth. So think about how easily Katie can walk around. It's far from the truth for everybody, except these people who already talked to her.
Yeah.
And you don't think she don't have to lawyer up. These white boys teaching her the game. Hey, just stick to your story. Grand jury coming up. We got you. You're just a witness right now. Keep running with it. Like, yeah. I'm telling you, man. Let's get some of these chats, man. It's crazy. I'm telling you.
Penny said, have they set a jury selection date yet? I don't think so.
No.
I think it's still gathering evidence.
Hey, Penny, hey guys, we don't even know if it's gonna go to a grand jury. I mean, to a trial. That's why they got to gather all this. We don't even know if it's gonna go to a trial. And what me and Rain played a few days ago, these two young men said they looking at it as a drowning.
Yeah.
Like they literally said it out of their mouth. So
Michael, welcome in, Michael. He says somebody saw him right before it happened. Either way, he didn't stay for no reason.
Yeah.
And said, why are they not returning body parts? And is this normal practice now? This is why I don't want an autopsy unless it's absolutely necessary.
When we first covered it, Dr. Roger Mitchell out of DC did say it is normal practice.
Yeah.
Again, I think they still did a lot of things that could be considered normal practice, but they did it for certain reasons.
Yeah. Gun Show said, heck yeah, Nancy on point. She was asking questions. Little lady said, not yet, the girl and Bart. And Bart never did surface until that call.
Yep.
Penny said, Katie probably brought the party favors.
I'm telling you.
And said, yes, it's the girl.
I'm telling y'all.
And said, she must have been somebody else's girl. Little lady said, right, public defender who don't care unless they on a come up.
Yeah.
Mel, welcome back, Mel. We appreciate you being
in.
here again. She said she has to be connected. She's the one that is a silent partner in all of this.
I'm telling you.
And said, right. I'm like, why are they arresting witnesses? Penny said, Rain, don't provide excuses for them. Little lady said, allegedly, we don't need no lawsuits.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I said, allegedly.
Crump Django said, notice how they stopped talking about the call and now they're mainly on giving up the phone to distract everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And
welcome in too, Crump.
Yeah, welcome in, Crump. And said, Penny said, so no, allegedly you got them deep pockets. Little lady said, right, the boat your ride home, nobody would. Mel said, how many times parents say, I don't raise my kid like that just to be proven wrong? Yeah. And said, right there may never be this, it's disgusting. Penny said, Katie trying to just get back to school with some money in her pockets. Clay said she is getting legal counsel, no doubt, and before the grand jury will be prudent.
I'm telling you. Because y'all know if a grand jury come in effect, you could say things secretly. They don't even got to disclose the information of who it was.
Yeah. Penny said they fought over Katie, and one of his so-called boys says she's for the streets. Little lady said the DEA want the phone basically without the parents there.
Yeah, but they already signed. Little lady, they signed a letter. The Wells family law team put out a letter on the 11th of August this week, stating that they agreed to do a joint distraction of the phone. They just haven't handed over the phone yet, so it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. Michael said separate them all and question them.
Yeah, so they store it tight now, Mike. They store it tight right now. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You gonna get the same thing out of them boys. They store it tight. They store it tight, man. So we're gonna play a little bit more of this, and then we're gonna move on to some other pressing information for y'all. We got a lot. We got like 3 stories for you guys. Won't take too much time, but we do want to show you guys some other things that are going on in the world that I think we need to keep close to our chest as well. In the midst of all this that's currently going on. So we're gonna play a little bit more of this. Don't forget, guys, the link is linked. The link is linked in the chat, pinned in the chat. So if you guys want to come up, say what you got to say. Again, this is a judgment-free zone. We're here to listen to people's opinions and thoughts. Just be respectful. If you can't be respectful, we'll put you back down. Don't worry.
Serious at all. Much was made of that. Now, one thing about Katie, originally, one or some of your clients said he was with some girl, we don't know her. Then it turned out they had been texting with her. So they did know her. There may be an innocent explanation for that or not. So explain to me, who were they talking about when they said he was with a girl, we don't know her? He had never met her before, but yet they were texting with Katie, the girl he had been with. I'll throw that to you, Tyler. Do you know the answer to that?
Sure. So they didn't know Katie, and they believe that Nolan didn't know Katie before that day. But you have to remember, once they started getting suspicious that Nolan wasn't with them anymore, they start asking themselves, okay, well, where's Nolan? They start texting everyone that they knew. Hey, have you seen Nolan? Do you know where Nolan is? Did he make it back home? All before they called Christine Wells that night, they start asking everybody. And so eventually they end up getting, through mutual friends, whoever, Katie's number. And so I believe it was maybe either Snapchat or text message. They got in communication with Katie. And Katie says, I don't know. We thought he was leaving with y'all. Well, I don't believe that's the case, obviously, because he did not leave with our boys. We don't know what happened to him, but that's Katie's statement. That's how they got a hold of Katie's numbers, because they're frantically trying to find out what happened to Nolan.
What's your take on it, Ed? Because I think he's saying they did know Katie. I couldn't tell if he said did or didn't. Did he say they all did know Katie?
No, they did not.
They didn't know Katie. All right. And they determined who she was. Okay.
Right.
Hey, hold on. Tyler, you say your clients began to get suspicious. Where is Nolan? When did they get suspicious?
It was later that night. I believe it was around 9 or 10 o'clock, maybe even 11, that they start saying, oh, well, has anyone seen Nolan? Where's Nolan? Did he make it back home? Does anybody know? They start calling around, texting, asking everybody. And once they determined that no one had the answer about where Nolan was, that's when they called Christine Wells. And then they stay on the phone, my client, stay on the phone with Christine Wells for about 5 or 6 minutes.
Y'all know he ain't come home. His truck was at your house.
And then he tells her, look,
so long to call?
I'm going to call the Coast Guard just to make it.
What you say?
Why did they take so long to call if they were so concerned about where he was?
They probably thought he was getting some cooter at first.
Sure. And he did. He stays on the phone with the Coast Guard for 21 minutes.
Okay. Ed Pulsick, also veteran trial lawyer. Ed, do you concur with that explanation of why they first said, I don't know her, we don't know her, he didn't know her, and then we find out that they had actually been texting with Katie? What's your understanding of that? Again, I had my favorite trial judge, Luke.
I'm going to tell y'all this too. Because Nancy be talking, and sometimes she might say stuff that it go over people's head. What if Nolan Phones has text messages to Katie? See, it's a lot that phone can be lukewarm. That phone could be good or bad. That phone can be something that you might not want to touch. And then also, if the mother has access to his phone, like his password, or was able to get in there, if they research the cloud and see that it was unlocked since the case, that's tampered evidence at that point. So it's a lot to this phone. Like it, you know what I mean? It's a lot to this phone, man. But if that phone got messages to Katie, and y'all see the good old boys already saying that they ain't know her.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Tell y'all, man.
I think the phone is key to a lot of things, though.
No, I think Katie key.
Little lady said they know Bart, his girl or ex. They knew Katie.
Mm-hmm.
Penny said they was plotting. Ann said right, and all of a sudden started noticing at the same time that he was gone. Come on. Michael said the girl could have been planted.
Mm.
Penny said Katie seemed to be in the middle of the phone tree.
Yeah. And women will set you up now. Y'all are alone.
Little lady said all a setup. They let Bart know he was talking to Katie.
I see what you're saying.
Ooh. Yeah. Ann said they should be able to get all the records from the phone company, but nobody's done that yet. I guess weird.
Go ahead and get you out. Let me go ahead and time you out. Okay, go ahead.
Little lady said right, Ann thought that too. Penny said Katie the plug. She for the streets. That's why they don't know her. Gunshow said, I wish it was something we could do.
We doing it right here. We're doing something a little different right here, Gun. We actually having a conversation.
Yeah.
We're not throwing out crazy assumptions. We're just having a conversation, and that's where it starts. I think we're doing something very important, and Kane said it even best. You just can't let it die. We can't forget about Nolan. Carmelo Anthony got his case starting next week. If you guys don't know, we are doing a series called Unfinished Business. We're talking about cases that have been done or had any of Ben Crump team located that still hasn't been solved yet to this day. We covered Tyreek Nichols and Deontay Wright last week. There's a lot of cases like this, guys, that we forget the people's name because it's no longer the big story. But Tyreek Nichols' family, 6 years later, is still looking for justice. Like literally, the mom said it.
Yeah.
That she just wants justice. So I think the biggest thing we can do is just to keep these stories alive, even if it's touching on a month-to-month basis. And then anything that's active, like the Carmelo Anthony case, just staying abreast to what's going on, to be honest with y'all. So, but Gun, I think we're doing a great job tonight just by look at this conversation we're having. It's no arguing, no bickering. It's just literally grown folks having a conversation.
Yeah. Mel said the game is afoot, as our old detective Sherlock Holmes would say.
Yeah.
Michael said, did they find fentanyl?
Fentanyl. Y'all, excuse me and Rain. Y'all put any big words here, we might mess them up. We're gonna let y'all know from the start. Now, you put any big word, we'll mess it up. That we're still waiting on the toxicology report. The toxicology report. So
yeah. Crump said the only thing about Katie is that trips me out is the fact that she had her sister talking for her, and she has not once said anything, but supposedly she's working with the family. Penny said Bart know his ex-girl is Nolan's ex-girl, Nolan's next girl. Oh. Ann said a daily concoction. Thanks for that. Gun Show said, okay, I'm locked in with y'all. We appreciate that.
we appreciate it, man.
Penny said, like and subscribe. Yes, please do. Michael said, one time someone slipped a Mickey. I blacked out. I think they did not want me with the two girls I was with.
Okay, Mike, you in the clubs? What you out there doing?
Little lady said, at this point, Katie in hiding.
Yeah, she hiding in plain sight. She already got the parents full. There's something I wanted to show you guys. Because we've been speaking about this tonight. Hopefully y'all can see it on your end. This is Sarah is Censored. She wrote something, and I want to read this, and I really want to get your guys' opinions about this, because there's been a lot of discussions about, these supposed to be his friends, these supposed to be his besties. Like there's a lot about the friends. And even the mom stated in her interview that she did know who Jax was. She didn't know him, like his details and pertinent information about his life, but she knew of him. Right. And this is Warren. I know somebody's saying that Warren lost weight. Nah, this Warren just skinny with a big head. That's him right there when they went to homecoming or prom too. But I want to read this to you guys, and I really want to hear your guys' perspective about this. It says, during his interview with Brandon Tatum, one of the boys made a statement that deserves more attention. For his parents to say, we don't know these boys, well, does that mean you don't know where the kids are staying at night? Because they're staying at our houses. So for those who didn't watch the Brandon Tatum interview, Warren initially stated that, well, for his mom not to know us, you're saying that you don't know where your son is staying at every night because he's always at their houses.
Mm.
Christine Wells has publicly admitted to distance Nolan from these boys by suggesting she didn't know them. But if Nolan was regularly staying overnight at their homes, then there are only two possibilities. Neither one supports the narrative being pushed. Either Nolan had a much closer and more established relationship with these boys than his family has publicly acknowledged, or his parents genuinely had no idea who their son was spending time with or whose homes he was sleeping at. You cannot have it both ways. You can't use I don't know these boys to imply that they are somehow strangers or insignificant people in Nolan's life without ignoring the allegations that Nolan was literally spending nights at their homes. And if Kristen truly did not know these boys, despite Nolan saying that their houses, then that raises an entirely different and uncomfortable question. How much did she actually know about Nolan's friendships, his social life, and what he was doing when he wasn't home? As a mother of a teenage son, this part absolutely floors me. I know where my son is, and if he is spending the night at someone's house, I make it my full business to know whose house he is in, who he is with, and who the parents are, period. In fact, it is extremely rare that my son spends the night with anyone. But when he does, there's absolutely no scenario where I later say, I don't know those kids. If my child is sleeping under someone's roof, I'm going to know who lives under that roof. So how do y'all feel about that? Because that does have a little validity to it.
It does. I agree.
And do y'all, so I'm gonna let the chat speak. I want to get your answer too first, Rain, before we get to the chat.
She does have she did raise some legitimate concerns. Like, if Christine did not know these parents or know these boys, and then we're calling them boys because everybody's referred to them as the boys. If Christine didn't know them in that way, then how can she allow someone or allow Nolan to spend a night over their houses and be at their place that much? If I don't know, as a mom, if I don't know these people personally, like deep off in the nose, I don't even think this day and age, we're not spending the night nowhere. Your spend a night bag don't exist. You're not going nowhere. You coming home every night. I don't think she makes some valid points. Sarah does. As a mom, I don't see that happening unless Christine was so comfortable in knowing that her son would be safe every time he went to that house. And not only that, knowing them well enough to ensure that she trusted their family enough for him to stay there. It was different back then. It was somewhat different back then. But especially nowadays, I can't see her letting her son stay somewhere where she don't know somebody. This, as a parent, as a mother, I don't see that happening. Yeah. Penny said Mike got them 2 phones. Laugh out loud. Mel said that would be fentanyl. Only reason why I know they use a derivative of it to knock you out for surgery. So you frozen, or is it me? Am I frozen? Or is Soul frozen, y'all?
I don't know
Robbie
if y'all can hear me.
Was it me or was it you?
There you go. Can you hear me, Ray?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, it was a blacked out. It black StreamYard totally blacked out again, like it did that other
Oh
night.
man.
Yeah, I
Okay.
couldn't. So where are you right now at this one, or you read it already?
I didn't read that one yet.
Okay.
Robbie said, "That's all I hear say. No, that's all hearsay, no facts." Chris Hillman says, "Where is Nolan's phone?"
With the parents.
Yeah, Penny said Nolan's parents have the phone. Ann said, "Very odd." Mm-hmm. Little lady said, "Meaning personally, they probably wasn't over there much at Nolan's house."
Gotcha.
Yeah. Ann said, "I've been asking this about his mom." Ann said, "And usually, like he was on the football team, so didn't she know all the football teammates because they all hang out?" And I don't know. It's just weird. Yeah. Michael said, "Or someone just didn't see them together, just ignorant." Penny says, "So I will push back on that he was partying and getting lit, but not crashing on couches and coming home every night by 10.
Yeah.
Akeem Hudson, welcome in. The fact that these people allow their sons to be the only Black friend is crazy. Where are these folks from for real?" And said, "Facts. Oh my God, I've been saying this." Prairie Blend, welcome in. Teach your children not to be the only one.
Welcome in, Mr. Perry.
Crump said, "Why do we keep acting like these are children? They are all 18 and 19. If they spend all their time over at one person's house, maybe the mother knows him by name, but not really know him like that."
Yeah, I would agree, Crump, but there were friends that he grew up with, like people like Warren and stuff. Warren said he knew him since elementary.
Penny said they might not have came to her house, but he might have spent a night or two at their house, but he said he was at Jackson's. Gunshow said, "I'm sure their parents have Life 360 on them." Akeem said, "Nolan parents are involved in the cover-up." What?
Whoa.
Allegedly. Little lady said, "I have a 16-year-old daughter. She liked to be at one friend's house than others, then some will be at my house more." Yeah. When I was coming up, my house was like the neighborhood house. They called Mama Mom Dukes.
Yeah.
And everybody was always at my house when I was coming up. Michael said, "I had an apartment at 17. I mean, come on, these people are adults." Gunshow said, "Right." Mm-hmm. Mel said, "When I lived with my sister in Biloxi, I noticed the lifestyle is different than when I was used to, more relaxed."
It is. Definitely on that beach, too.
Michael said, "Lots of parents allow all the time and don't check on them when they're at home. They give kids the freedom for closeness and trust." Ann said, "And the only other question, think he froze, is she went and got Crump herself, and they were saying it wasn't a race thing, but I don't know. It's been made into one."
Yeah.
Oh, they were saying it's him. Whenever I was asked, I say, "Hey, is that Souls or is that me?"
He said, "So sleepy good."
Okay. Mel said, "No, you're good." I didn't know what had happened. Little lady said, all we know each other, and we all know each other. It's good now." Michael said, "Keeps from pushing them away from home where it's safer."
True.
Penny said sometimes there are like 40 to 50 players on the team.
That is true.
And said so the drinking age is teenagers in this town. They had access to
And I grew up in Louisiana. We were drinking beer at about 14, 13 years old.
St. Ives and Alizé. And Penny said it's hard to teach them not to be the only one if they are the only ones. Oh, Penny, you said that's a bar. Penny said it was an island with no adults. No, there were some adults out there. There were adults out there. Courtney, welcome in, Courtney.
Yeah, what's up? What's up, my guy? This perfect time for you on that on that West Coast.
Yeah, good show last night too. I watched most of it.
With the banter and barter.
Yeah.
Great show. Courtney said, "Thank you for the $1.99, big dog." I be trying to catch his show. They be on different times than us, but great show, y'all. Everybody who's watching tonight, man, y'all make sure y'all go check out the Courtney Egger show, man. And he has another show called the is it Barter and Banner or Banner or Barter?
I think it's Banter and Barter.
Put the right thing in there for me, Courtney, so they can know the show. But y'all go check out my guy, man. They got a great show over there. They talk about a lot of the same topics as well.
Yeah.
So.
Penny said no adults 23 and below. Little lady said, think they in Mississippi.
Yeah.
Gunshot said nothing good about Mississippi. Akeem said, for people to keep saying it's not valid race thing is very disingenuous. If the shoe was on a white foot, we would all know things would be different.
You're right. You can't take the race piece out of it. You're right. You're definitely right. But I'm gonna tell you this. Race never allows us to win. So that's something we have to accept. If we want to understand that race is the issue, we have to understand that it put us behind the 8 ball. Like think about it. The first 2 to 3 weeks of this case, that's what we were fighting. Everybody was fighting who was black enough, who was not black enough. D.L. Hughley and them fighting each other with Officer Tatum, but at the end of the day, man, everybody should just be going to get the facts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shout out to Courtney, y'all. It's called Banter and Barter Show, man. Great show. Great show, man. He has a panel, man, of good people, man. Hopefully me and Rain can get on there one day when we line it up. So we'll get on there one day.
Yeah. And said, okay, thanks for helping me understand because I was wondering why all these parents seem to be okay with teenagers drinking. I'm in California, so that's why it just kind of shocked me.
Yeah, y'all, Cali different.
Mel said, compliments to the host and hostess. This is a good group, productive and civil. We appreciate you, Mel.
Thank you. That's what we try to keep it. Keep it that way.
Crump said, there's a difference from having people you are friends with at school and then having friends that are in your neighborhood or in your favorite family circle. Yeah. Crump said, a lot of them said they didn't start being friends with him until the 8th or 9th grade. So it's possible that a lot of them didn't get close until he started high school.
Yeah, probably once his stardom started too, because you got to think about it, y'all. He was a top football player. He has a family lineage of NFL players. So
yeah. Wesley said, well, welcome in, Wesley. He said, California, you got a lot of nerve talking about drinking and don't you people allow legal drug use?
It's okay, Wesley. We ain't gonna get to the politics side today.
Ann said, yeah, it was bad. Michael said, but a whole lot of people there just like them if premeditated. Crump said, and being on the football team will have nights where you spend the night over your teammate's house. The mother felt comfortable because there were other people. Yeah. Wesley said Tatum putting out facts.
He doing a decent job. Nancy called him a couple times, but he doing a decent job.
Sko said, what's up, family?
What you got? What you up doing this late, Sko?
Yeah.
Tonight.
Able to catch the show tonight.
Yeah.
Wesley said California allows drugs. The hell y'all talking about?
Wesley said he ain't fooling with Cali, boy.
Penny said California got them kale juice parties. Michael said if authorities said wrong thing, it sure would stink a lot.
It would. We appreciate y'all tonight, man. We're gonna get to a couple topics tonight that we want to get to with you guys. If y'all can bear with us for these next few topics, man. It's called, as y'all see the thumbnail, everyone's taking shots, right? So we started off speaking about the updates with the Nolan Wells family, but now we want to transition into a lot of things that are currently happening in society today as we speak. I don't know if y'all know or what state everybody is from, but school has just started back in, and man, there's been a bunch of school shootings, a bunch of just shootings in general. But the first one we're going to speak about tonight is going to be the one that happened at Warner Robins High School. So we're going to play this for you guys to get the update on this. And we're going to try to stay up to speed on all these cases that we're covering tonight to keep you guys abreast. So here we go.
And that's in Middle Georgia, y'all.
Yeah.
We know that it began as an altercation in the boys' restroom on the G hallway at Warner Robins High School. And we know that there were 6 or 7 students in the bathroom at the time of the incident. And it appears that there may have been an altercation that began as a verbal altercation over a vape. And the 2 students involved were arguing back and forth. It turned into a physical altercation in what was described as maybe some hand fighting or pushing and shoving. And then one of the students retrieved a firearm, a semi-automatic pistol from his book bag, and discharged 1 round. And that bullet struck the leg of another student.
All right. So they were fighting over a vape.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you. This is the young man here at his hearing.
We are getting some breaking news into the newsroom right now. We want to switch to, so the 14-year-old suspect accused of opening fire on Warner Robins inside Warner Robins High School yesterday is appearing before a judge for the first time right now. Let's listen together.
I have a lawyer. And as I've explained, if you can't afford to hire a lawyer, the court will come 140. Okay? It sounds like your mama is on that. But if you wanted to be an attorney, you have to fill out an affidavit, or your mama has to give us some information about your finances to be qualified. Okay? You have the right to call a pre-indictment probable cause unless you are released on bond or the grand jury indictment prior to that. Okay?
Is that? Can you hear that static?
Yeah, it's
they gotta do better in these courtrooms. Now, y'all making all that money in Georgia. That's your side.
Don't do that. Don't do Georgia.
Because in Houston County they serve 6 months at a time, and they are in check of balance to make sure that there's some basis for the DA to bring these charges. Okay. You also have the right to jury opposition charges. For purposes of indictment,
All right, so that's too disturbing with the noise. Y'all got to do better out there in the Georgia and Alabama area. Y'all make too much money through crime to not have good speaker systems. But the young man is 14 years old at the Warner Robins High School. If y'all know, that is a huge military community. Warner Robins is an Air Force base out there. So Warner Robins out there. So very huge military presence. I wonder is that if he's a military kid too. It hasn't came out yet. But this was a 14-year-old young man who got into an altercation in the bathroom with, it seemed like it was like 6 to 7 other people from what the gentleman said, over a vape that became physical. And then this young gentleman pulled out a gun. She said, if y'all stop typing, still watching on TV.
If I stop watching, stop typing.
Okay.
She got us on. She got us on her TV.
Okay. Gee, at 14, man. He said predominantly black or white school. It's going to be a mixture.
A good mix.
It's going to be a mixture. If it's by the Air Force base, it's going to be a good mixture. But I will say, I'll let Rain look it up. But I think it's still highly African American. Just because when I was in the Air Force, they did send a lot of us black folks to Warner Robins. They wouldn't send us to Moody. Moody is the other Air Force base. Yes, racism was in the military. But anyway, with that being said, there's a lot going on, guys. There's a lot that we're going to cover tonight. This is just the first story. We're going to keep you guys abreast to this story throughout the weeks. She said, so he was mad that he was not sharing the vape. Yeah, like it's I'm ready to really hear more about it. I think it's more to it because I want to know how a 14-year-old even gets into school with the weapon like that. He said, "So don't act like there's there's still violence in the hey. Mel said, "I know games are heavy in Atlanta, but this over a vape makes no sense." Puff puff pass. What did you find out about that Warner Robins area?
So it has approximately 1,600, almost 1,700 students in grades 9 through 12. It's the bottom 50% as far as overall test scores in Georgia. The minority enrollment is 80% of the student body, majority Black, which is higher than the Georgia State average of 66%.
That's what I thought. That's what they used to send all us, for real. Like, people think I'm joking. That's what they sent there. Like, for real. You wanted to get the Moody, they're like, we could send you to Warner Robins. No, I'm straight. But yeah, so she said, dang, close it down. Yeah. For real. That area is rough too. He said, yeah, it was lower income pop. Yeah. So this is a 14-year-old. We're gonna keep y'all abreast to his case. Right now, they're waiting to for him to, shouldn't be going to trial, but they're gonna be gaining the evidence to see what they're gonna do with him. Again, he's 14, so worst case, you're looking at juvenile detention. But the reason why we wanted to cover these stories, the reason why I know I want to cover these stories is because we speak about losing other African Americans, right? We know Nolan Wells is no longer with us, and we don't have all the evidence yet of why he's not with us. But we do have evidence of why a lot of our other Black young men and women aren't with us, and that's because of the jurisdictional system. This young man is already starting his life out in the juvenile system with this one bad choice he made in school. And this is something that's gonna that's gonna follow him for the rest of his life. Like, these things, I don't think people really understand these systems. Once he gets in that juvenile system, man, it's no better than going. It's like getting ready prepped up for prison. Like, so go ahead.
They do have an update though. As of the 13th, it says that they're gonna try him as an adult. Where did they go to? Hold on. They're gonna try him as an adult, and he's being charged with 5 charges: aggravated with a firearm, theft by receiving a stolen firearm, possession of a handgun by a person under 18, possession of a firearm in a school safety zone, and disrupting public schools.
Yeah, so you see that already. Over a vape, this young man is being tried like he's an adult. And just wanted to talk about this because this is something that we have to really start to speak on. These cases aren't just about people losing their lives. People are losing their innocence. This is a 14-year-old. This is a kid. This is a kid. He's a young man, 14 years old, who's now about to be put into a system that he is not mentally prepared for over one bad decision. And these things are even more important. And we have to start protecting those who are still here as well. And that's kind of our goal here, well, for myself and Rain. That's why we're trying to bring stories to you guys. We're going to try to bring real people on here for these town halls to talk about stories that they have going on in their area, because these things start very early before anything else. So highly encourage you guys to stay with us, to stay abreast to these subjects and topics. But there was a lot going on this week in the school system. I mean, as we were getting on tonight, Rain was like, man, somebody just did a shooting. I think it was Virginia State University at VSU. So there's shootings going on everywhere. There's innocent lives being taken everywhere. And it's just something that we want to keep everybody abreast to. So we're going to get to the comments, and then we're going to get to this next story, which is even, like, I won't say sadder, but it's a little worse, in my opinion.
Shaking my head. That's all you can do is shake your head. Yeah.
So
Little lady said, dang, adult might not get out till 34.
That's what I'm saying. Crazy.
I mean, over a vape. And then why are you why are you even bringing a gun to school? And do they not have metal detectors at this high school?
But see, I mean, they probably don't. But even with that being said, we got to find somebody to protect this young man. Like hopefully they have like a GoFundMe or something going so he can get a better attorney than a public attorney, like one that they're going to provide for him, who's going to tell him to take a plea and get you 10 years or you'll do 4, and then when you turn 18 they'll decide where you're going to go next. Like this is not good for us at all. Like at all. So go ahead.
Ann said it seems like they're trying to make an example out of them. Penny said, dang, if he's being charged as an adult, his options are limited for the rest of his life and he will be in the cycle.
Most definitely.
Jesus. No room for redemption. If that, Akeem said, I have seen adults get hostile over weed pens, laughing but very serious.
That's crazy.
Pillion, Alon said, what happened? Welcome in. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Penny said, worst part is that he probably thought it was a video game. Mel said, juvenile felonies. Why are kids, and for that matter, adults, so bad at personal impulse control?
I mean, the man, it's the world we living in today. I mean, y'all are going to see it here on the town hall. We're going to be trying to stay covering as much as possible. And then if y'all go over to the weekly radar with Rain, she covers a lot of top news on her channel too. You guys are going to see. I mean, we're talking about impulse control, but I mean, does anybody feel safe leaving their home today? I mean, we just covered the in and out active shooter incident that happened in Idaho in the middle of nowhere. You know what I mean? Then also we covered, what else? Who else did we cover after that? It was another shooting.
Jeez. Dang it, we didn't cover.
No, it wasn't a shooting. It was the pastor in Florida.
Oh yeah, the pastor in Florida
who was passing around the HIV to 14-year-olds.
Yeah. So. Little lady said, "Glad I stopped, not by choice."
Thank you. We appreciate you.
Little lady said, the part their gun said.
Mm-hmm.
Pillion. Let us know how you pronounce your name. This is why the high school here is about to look like TSA in the mornings.
That's big facts.
Telling you, Penny said, like I said, where is AI? Where is Al? It looks like AI. Where is Al and Crump for this young man? The king said, Crump is not a criminal attorney. Penny said, just saying, no defense and press for the young man.
We got him.
Penny said, they go where the money is, not the need. Little lady said, Crump the money man.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we'll keep you guys up to date on his charges that ends up actually sticking and what they do with them. Hopefully, I don't think he had any like background of like criminal activity, so hopefully he can get off and get a better option. But I am predicting, you guys are hearing it first at the town hall. Souls is predicting that by the end of 2027, school will have an option to be hybrid. I don't think we can continue to have this many school shootings and guns coming to schools and not give parents an option to take their kids out of school for their safety. So you're hearing it here first. So, and they already got AI going into school, so it'll happen very shortly.
Yeah.
Akeem said, impulse control is an acquired skill. Yeah, I have mastered it. That's one of the things I have mastered. I really have mastered it. Kane said, great show tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you for always being present too. Thank y'all too, everybody who's sticking around as well. We're gonna get you guys this next story. So this next story for the town hall is gonna be the 17-year-old that was at the bus stop, that was shot at the bus stop. So let's see here. Speed it up real quick.
Family. What? Can he say something to the family? Oh, God.
3 people are in custody tonight in connection to the murder of a Gaffney High School student, 17-year-old Jamiltron Fair Jr. He was shot and killed yesterday morning at his bus stop.
Before 17-year-old Joe Milton Fair could make it to his 3rd day of class for his senior year in high school, his life would be taken while he was waiting to get on the school bus.
And from my understanding, he stole his phone, my grandson's phone, and been harassing his family members.
It's tough. It's always tough on his kids. And even though he's 17, he's a student. He is going to school. He's gotten up early. He's going to meet the bus, minding his own business, if you will. And he walks from his home across the street to the bus stop and starts to get on, and things change drastically, real quickly.
And in your time at coroner, do you remember like a case like this involving like a kid like this young going to school? How rare is this for Cherokee County?
In 20 years, it's my first.
But it wouldn't take long for investigators to make arrests.
These are 2 of the 3 arrested. 17-year-old Reginald Barnes Jr. was arrested early this morning. He's being charged as an adult for murder and has been denied bond. And after a 10-hour-long manhunt, Kavion Covington was arrested this evening.
Once news of the arrest started making headlines, Joe Milton's mother would allegedly take to social media with a message for her son, who was affectionately known as June. They got them baby June. Now, following his arrest, the suspect, who goes by Reggie, appeared in court for a bond hearing. Joe Milton's family would also be present in the courtroom. And according to the family, Reggie wanted to make one thing clear. He claimed that he was only the driver and had no idea that Joe Milton would lose his wife that morning. So Reggie, the suspect, would tell the court, "I promise, I didn't know June was going to die yesterday. I was there. I didn't know June was going to die." Now, although Reggie admitted that he was there, he maintained that he was only the driver. And because of that, Reggie believed he should be granted bond. But prosecutors would then reveal that investigators had surveillance footage from that morning.
Thank y'all. We went to court today. We went to the bond hearing for one of the boys. I think his name was Reggie. Now we got to be traumatized from watching this video in court of what happened to him. I never get that out of my head.
Now, prosecutors would use that surveillance footage to lay out what they said happened that morning. According to prosecutors, the video shows the victim walking down the street towards the bus stop when a vehicle pulls up. An individual then gets out of the vehicle and starts fighting the victim. Once the fight ended, the victim reached down to pick up his backpack from the ground. And as he attempted to pick it up, someone would fire the fatal shot. But prosecutors were not done laying out what they believe happened that morning. Because while the 17-year-old suspect maintained that his only role was driving the van to the bus stop, investigators had evidence pointing to something much bigger. They believed that there were 2 shooters, 2 different guns, and at least 5 shots fired. And all of this would happen while at least 15 students were on the school bus. The court would also be told that testing is still being conducted to determine who fired the fatal shot that claimed the victim's life. And although investigators have video evidence, authorities have not publicly stated what role they believe each of the 3 suspects played that morning. With those questions still unresolved, bond would be denied.
Take your time. Take your time.
His really taking no responsibility for anything that happened. Well, how do you feel about what he was saying and the lack of responsibility?
The lack of responsibility that we have, we always say it starts at home. You have to be taught right from wrong. And today what we seen, he was taught wrong. He does not have the pillar of strong family like Jotron had that we got to stay on him and push him in the right direction. It's sad to see a young man's life go down the drain for senseless, for nothing, something that all could have been avoided. And as I say, it hurt us all to sit there and see, and it hurts us for the lack of accountability that was took, the blame game that was played. At the end of the day, evidence don't lie. Video don't lie. Jetron, he showed us who did this, and he led us right to him. So now we working toward justice for him in the most respectful way and the most honest way. And we would like to thank the public for all that they're doing for us and our family, and to continue to keep us in your prayers. And like I said, it's really hard on all of us.
So I'm gonna stop it there. Prayers to June's family. For those who are new to the channel that don't know, I specialized in the mental health career field when I served my 20-year sentence in the Air Force. So I did mental health. With that being said, what I've noticed is almost the normalization of losing people. like they're hurting, but they have no more tears to give. Like there's no like emotions. You're no longer going to be able to judge people by their emotions anymore. Losing people is becoming so normalized that people now are trying to just move forward. Like, how do we deal with this and move on with life? Because tomorrow it could be someone else. Like it's tough, man. It's tough when I'm watching this stuff and really seeing it in real time, just people losing people on a day-to-day basis. And I mean, there's just no more they can give. This gentleman, he's 17 years old, Mr. June. He did have a baby on the way. He had a young boy on the way. They did a gender reveal this summer prior to school going back in. So, now we always talk about fatherless homes, right? This baby is going to start off with not just a young mother, but a young mother with no man or guidance. So, and we talk about a lot of this, guys. For those who are new, we talk about a lot of this about fatherless homes, the youth that needs us and things of that nature. So what you got, Rain? You muted right now.
I forgot I was typing earlier. I'll be trying to get a little bit of update, see if something changed by the time we would get on here. What's interesting to me though is the fact that there supposedly are 2 shooters, and I know I'm getting away from what you said, so I'm not saying.
Do your thing. Do your thing.
There's 2 shooters, allegedly 2 shooters, and with the 2 shooters involved, I'm wondering how they're going to charge those shooters. Will they charge them separately? Are they going to try to find out which shot?
I see what you're saying.
What
gun, what bullet?
What bullet, and all that. And I think somebody in the chat said about Reggie. He's already singing. He's singing the song. Where Reggie finna tell it all. He's waiting to see the detective. Yeah, so he already knows that 1, they're in trouble. 2, if he don't tell it like it's supposed to be told, he going down just like the rest of them. So, I mean, of course they're gonna get him at least as an accomplice to it, but he needs to hope that he don't get the heavy time like the other 2 will. And I wonder how many people were in the vehicle altogether. I know they say it's 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, a 17, an 18, and a 16-year-old. They have not identified the 16-year-old because I think he is 16.
Yeah, his age. Yeah.
Yes, the age. So, but yeah, Reggie, I think he's gonna cooperate fully. And I'm wondering, the disagreement. You wonder why, at such a young age, the disagreements and that these kids have, that they need to pull out a firearm, or they feel that it's warranted to end a life. Is it that heavy that you need to end this person's life? And you wonder where their mentality is. Were the people who ended this young man's life, were they threatened that heavy that their life was going to be ending? So, I don't know we don't know their beef. We don't know what led up to the fight and all that. But why do they feel that they have to carry these guns? Just like the Warner Robins incident. Why did this 14-year-old feel that he needed to carry a gun into a school? Did you feel is your life that threatened that you have to carry a gun on you all the time? And why are you putting yourself into these situations where you have to have a gun or feel that you need a gun? Yeah. So that's just where I was thinking. Penny said, so we're not going to talk about the parents not being present is the reason this young man is not alive, because we don't see Daddy. Did we see Daddy? So
not at all.
Little lady said that's not going to fly, driver.
Not at all.
Penny said, was there something in the backpack?
They haven't stated yet. They haven't stated.
Crump said, Crump is a civil rights attorney. They don't normally deal with people who are in criminal trouble. They deal with people when civil rights have been neglected. Crump said, a lot of this stuff
with these guns in the school, we really have to look at the parents. I knew somebody who she knew her son had a gun and he ended up passing away because of gun violence. Crump said, you also got a new subscriber. I like your channel and I like the way y'all discuss topics. You keep a level, cool head and you talk about the questions that need to be answered.
Thank you. Thank you.
We appreciate you. Penny said, majority of the press need to be geared towards helping criminal than civil rights at this point. Like Soul says, race is more of a distraction in most cases than the root.
Yeah.
Penny said, another baby without a father, shaking my head. The cycle continues. Ben, I was going to say Ben Crump. Crump Django said, Bart Jr., such a coincidence, huh?
Crump Django, you got to tell us how you came up with that name.
Yeah. Akeem said, if someone dies in the commission of a felony, everybody catches that. Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Okay, then. Mel said, whether you liked him or not, Charlie Kirk said something profound. As Soul said, emotions are fading. When the dialogue stops, the violence begins. We have to keep communicating.
Yes. Yes. I like. Can you read that one more time? I like that.
Whether you liked him or not, Charlie Kirk said something profound. As Soul said, emotions are fading. When the dialogue stops, the violence begins. We have to keep communicating.
Facts.
Lily said crowds.
Mm-hmm.
Penny said, last time I checked, those 17-year-olds didn't have business with 14-year-olds. I'm just saying. Seems like he was hanging out with the younger kids.
Yeah. And he was another kid too, man. They talked about his him being like the funny guy in the neighborhood. The young kids on the bus loved him because, like, I guess, you know, they're in a small town, so the middle school, like, it was an intermingling of age groups on the bus, and everybody said like how loving he was, how funny he was. So, man, again, she said, my fault, cowards.
Cowards, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So prayers to that family, man. Again, you can see the emotions are leaving people, man, and that's just a very dangerous place to be.
Yeah.
So praying for that family, praying for that town, praying for that baby who's not here yet, that has to be raised with his father no longer being here. So prayers to that family. We got one more for y'all tonight, and I promise we apologize for it being so heavy, but wanted to give you guys the information as it's happening and everything that's going on. And this happened pretty much in my backyard to a certain extent. So this last one was the road rage case. I don't know if y'all heard about the road rage case that recently happened on I-20 in Texas. This gentleman had a road rage incident. All right, Luis, we love you, but dog, there you go. So this happened this week. A road rage case that led to a shooting, and it just wasn't a shooting. The dude shot, killed the person, and drove to work. So
that is.
We're gonna get it started here, and then we're gonna play 2 videos for y'all today. Here we go.
Rage shooting. Good evening. I'm Steve Eager. The man accused of killing her was tracked to his job in Justin. That's where he was taken into custody. Patrick Lawrence told police the victim was tailgating him. Fox 4's Dion Anglin joins us now with more on how it all happened and how the suspect was identified. Dion.
Yeah, Steve, the details, according to court documents, give a glimpse into what happened on the freeway Thursday morning and how police tracked down the man who they have charged with the road rage killing. Investigators tracked down 37-year-old Patrick Lawrence at his job in the city of Justin using a combination of technology and witness statements. The arrest affidavit mentions another vehicle equipped with a dash camera recorded the freeway shooting that killed teacher's aide, 24-year-old Latavia Davis, driving a red sedan. Fox 4 cameras captured this company truck throughout the investigation scene with a camera mounted on its windshield. The arrest affidavit also references this unusual scene. Police cadets from recruit class 162 scouring Interstate 20 for evidence. One cadet located a single 9mm casing near the Granbury Road exit. Early on, with the help of the witnesses and the department's real-time crime center, police knew they were looking for a blue Volkswagen SUV. The license plate indicated it was registered to Lawrence. Within a short time, a surveillance team was set up and watching his job, where he was detained while leaving for lunch. The affidavit says Lawrence agreed to speak with him about what happened on the freeway. He said he was leaving for work on South Hewland Street and needed to get from the left lane to the right lane to access the on-ramp for I-20. He says when he got in the far right lane, he was in front of a red sedan. The red sedan began to tailgate his vehicle as he started to enter the highway. The red vehicle quickly merged left, cutting across the white on-ramp markings to the left side of the highway. Lawrence then told investigators he could not see inside the red vehicle because the windows were tinted dark. As the vehicle passed, he pulled out a 9mm Canik pistol and fired one shot toward the red vehicle. Patrick, according to the affidavit, observed that his gunshot struck the red sedan's passenger window. Patrick said he immediately exited the highway and proceeded to work. When questioned by police, Lawrence told them the 9mm handgun was still in his car. Police found the gun loaded with ammunition matching the casing found on the highway. Latavia Davis attended the Vision Church of Fort Worth. The church has made several posts about the Everman ISD Teacher's Aid, including this one, noting heaven gained an angel and we lost a jewel.
Yeah, so that's the first one. I'm gonna go ahead and play the second one. Again, she was at a very popular, that's a very popular church, the Vision Church. So here we go.
Marvin Hurst, Latavia Davis was more than just a murder victim.
A small Fort Worth church suffered a big loss.
They don't look like it, y'all, but that church, if you go look them up, it's very popular. I think they spell it VSIN or something like that.
When they come back to get the good news on Sunday, one of their faithful won't be in the pews.
It's going to be hard. She sat in the same spot every Sunday with her Bible and her notebook. And to go in and to know that she's no longer going to feel that seed, it just doesn't feel right.
Fort Worth police say Davis was killed in a road rage confrontation by Patrick Lawrence on Thursday. An arrest affidavit says the 37-year-old claims that Davis was tailgating him on I-20 and cut him off. So police say he pulled up a 9mm gun, shot at the vehicle, and went to work in Justin. Davis died.
Devastating just doesn't do it justice. She was someone who planned. And so to know the plans that she had for herself and to know that those won't get to come to fruition now, it's the person who took her life did the world an injustice taking her away from us.
Her death is a loss at E-Ray Elementary School in Everman ISD, where she'd been a teacher's aide for about 2 years, Jones says. It's heartbreak for her church family, who saw her get baptized last September, and for her biological family.
They're not good. They're not good. Some moments are easier than other moments, but overall, her family, I don't want to say that they're broken, but I can't think of a better word.
Police say Lawrence confessed to the crime, which investigators say a witness caught on dash cam. He's been arrested, facing a charge of murder. Back at the Vision Church of Fort Worth, the pain quakes through their community because losing Latavia Davis was not the sacrifice they expected to give.
Never in a million years would I say that someone that I know was murdered because of road rage. Never.
So that's the story on Miss Davis there. Very sad story. Literally in the backyard, pretty much, almost to a certain extent, about 30-40 minutes away. And just wanted to end with that because I think this all kind of comes together, right? We started off tonight speaking about the Nolan Wells, listening to the family speak about their story of what their rehashing of the night of July the 4th, heading into the morning of July the 5th. And then we moved on and listened to a little bit more. But I think the biggest thing that I take away from all of this is the understanding that everybody has a breaking point. And I think we are no longer living in a world where those basic things that you think you could get away with are no longer acceptable. You have young men pulling guns out over a vape. You have another man shooting through a car that they couldn't see who was inside because of road rage. You have another young man just through some neighborhood beef, shooting another young man at a bus stop prior to going to school. And we currently don't know what has happened to Nolan Wells. But I will tell you this, that I think that we need to really, we have to move off of the tough guy stuff. Because when life hits, it hits. You know what I mean? And I seen a lot of people in the chat tonight talking about the emotional impulse and things of that nature. And that's one of the things that I highly encourage people to really start to be able to control, is how you handle things emotionally. Your 0 else meter should be very, very high, and it should look that way. Like, if you don't care about certain things, you should allow it to be so. So, but what is your thoughts about this, Rain, before we get to the last comments?
This gentleman out here in Texas, we've all been irritated by drivers on the road. How can you, I don't understand the thought process of someone needing to pull a gun on somebody. Did you feel threatened because she was, and then was your interpretation of the suspected road rage, was your interpretation of, the way she was tailgating you, honestly true? That's the way you interpreted it. Was she really tailgating you? And what was the need? And then you just drove on to work without a care in the world. Like, you didn't even check to see, oh, I just shot at somebody. Well, you didn't care anyways, because you just willy-nilly shooting your pew out the window anyway. So you didn't care that it could have been a child. You didn't care that it could have been possibly your family member. You didn't care about none of that. So it's, I don't know what the solution is here, because I think we all should have the right to bear arms, absolutely. But as far as but not everybody, because you got to be responsible. I've said this before on other shows. I think it was No Middleman. We all, as a gun owner, you have that responsibility to handle things safely and be responsible, and how you use it as well. So it's heartbreaking that this young lady lost her life, and it's heartbreaking that this man chose to just all willy-nilly out the window, boom, and then drove on to work without a care in the world. I don't understand it. Yeah. I don't understand it. And in all of these stories too, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word, but the lack of concern for human life, period. In Nolan's story, and all these shootings, the unalivings, all these that's going on, the lack of concern for human life, just decency of being on this earth is a gift. A life is a gift, and not everybody takes it that way for whatever reason, and it's every day I wake up, my feet hit the floor. I say, thank you that I'm still here.
Yeah.
So I can't grasp the concept of how these people, unless they are actually threatened or unless their life is in danger, how they can just take another person's life, So.
Yeah. So I would tell you guys, be careful out there, man. Be careful.
Mm-hmm. It makes me not want to go out so much. I've stopped going out at night, period. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Be careful, man. Keep your head on the swivel. Stay dangerous. And if you don't really got to go somewhere or don't need to be there, I hate to say that, that we need to pause our life these days. But
it's great.
If you can go without going, don't go. So.
Mm-hmm. Penny said, got to have grace behind the wheel. Absolutely. Little lady said, went to work like he didn't do nothing wrong. Normal day for him.
It is crazy when you.
Sco said, I'm surprised you still got rain up. Y'all know it's well past her bedtime. It is. But it's the weekend, so little lady said he had bodies. Little lady, do you think he got something else going on?
Yeah, he that was easy for him, and he admitted to it.
Right. I wonder if he was like nonchalant about it, like, yeah, she was tailgating me, you know, and I wonder how the interview went, you know, because he was open and honest in that.
He looked like he's touched by an angel.
So I said it's the weekend, so Mel said she's pretty enough, no beauty sleep needed. Oh, thank you, man. So laughing. Penny said Rain fan club strong in the chat tonight.
Yeah.
Little lady said 24, basically a new driver.
Big facts.
Penny said that's 10 years of driving, little lady. Driving. Little lady said not necessarily. Some people still get licenses, not later, not all at 16. Okay.
That's true.
Penny said he was paranoid and had something was going on behind the scenes with that. For real. Little lady said getting sleepy. Get licensed late in life. Yeah.
You good.
I think I had my permit at 14 and I couldn't get my license until 16 or something like that. Little lady said, I don't carry no more. If you want my car, you can have it.
Have a good day with it. Yeah.
Penny said, we getting to the point too many people think it's GTA.
That's a big fact.
Crump said, it's not just about mental health, but also it's about controlling yourself. A lot of people nowadays do not know how to control themselves yet have the ability to end lives in a second. Crump said he's from Ohio. We just recently had a guy who worked at Pizza Hut, got into it with a female customer and she spit on him. He went to his car, got his gun and shot at her and got her in the head. Oh my goodness.
What part of Ohio you in? I was out there for almost 5 years. What part of Ohio you was in? I was in the Youngstown area.
Yeah. Crump said talking about somebody mental is a big thing to talk about, but it's not just about having a disability. It's also just talking about controlling yourself and your urges.
Big facts. We appreciate you.
Akeem said, to be honest, if I blow at somebody, I'm not checking to see anything either.
Yeah.
Lady said, yeah, one shot hit something.
What? Y'all both from Ohio? She said Youngstown. Oh yeah. Youngstown was rough. The is rough. Yeah. My office was in Warren, Ohio. Crump should know what that is. I was in Warren, Ohio. I was in the hood.
He said from the Cleveland area. I live near.
That's Ulick. Yeah.
Ulick. Oh, that's how you said that. Ulick.
Yeah. Okay.
I would have said Ulick.
Yeah, Crump. I was out there for 5 years, man. I like Ohio though. It definitely rubs off on you for sure.
Little lady said Detroit suburbs. I can't say you can't say stay dangerous and not mean just that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I feel you on that, man. We appreciate y'all tonight, man. We appreciate y'all rocking with us, man. It's 2 a.m. here. I know it's 3 a.m. and we're rain yet. So we appreciate y'all staying up. Little lady, we appreciate you staying in there. Detroit should be ahead too, I think. So we appreciate you guys. Rain's gonna give us a closer, man, and then we're gonna close this thing on out.
All right, y'all. So tonight we talked about different families, different cities, different circumstances, but unfortunately, far too much of the pain sounded the same. A family looking for answers about Nolan Wells, a family in Warner Robins, Georgia, a family grieving a 17-year-old in Gaffney, a teacher shot on I-20, and behind every one of those stories are people whose lives will never be exactly the same again. We can spend hours debating the details of these individual cases, but those details do matter. Evidence matter, facts matter, accountability matters. But we cannot become so focused on one story that we stop seeing the bigger picture. Because while we're discussing the tragedy that already happened, another family could be one phone call away from having their entire world changed. And at some point, that conversation has to move beyond, hey, what happened? We also have to start asking, what are we going to do to keep it from happening again? because answers may bring clarity, accountability may bring justice, but change can save the next family from ever having to ask those questions in the first place. So tonight, remember the names, remember the families, remember the lives behind the headlines, because they are more than stories for us to discuss. They are reminders that something has to change. Different stories, same pain, and far too many families still waiting for answers. If y'all are catching this on the rewatch, make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe, and make sure y'all leave y'all comments down in the comment section. And y'all thoughts in the comment section.
All right, thank y'all.
What are we shooting for? Another shot fired. Another breaking news banner. Another mother getting a phone call that changes everything. Road rage, bus stops, arguments, egos. Seconds of anger creating lifetimes of pain. And while communities keep asking, what are we killing each other for? Another family finally steps forward to speak. The Wells family has a voice too. Red lights, blue lights, middle of the night. Two strangers get angry, now somebody lost their life. Young boys throwing futures over moments in the street. Another empty chair where somebody used to eat. Over disrespect, over pride, over somebody cutting lanes. One pull of a trigger and nothing stays the same. Kids at the bus stop, workers driving home. People leave that morning never knowing what's coming on. You scream about the shooter, then tomorrow we forget until another notification.
Yeah. Deep-rooted conversations, real talk, real roots, real us, souls. Soft rain, no middleman between the truth. I can see it in your eyes, you got it. Pain got your heart moving cautious. Different worlds but the same kind of scars here. Different roads but somehow we still crossed it. Mad cause the world never listened right. Mad cause your truth always turned